All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crowject podcast grand final recall of the 1997 grand final. My name's Peter Soroka, and on the call today, we've got, a veritable myriad of callers today. We've got Sam Tugwell from 5AA. How are you, Sammy boy?
Good afternoon, everyone. Great to be here. What a day.
What a day, what a day. We're putting ourselves back to 1997 right now, and I was 8 at the time, so we're not going to go that far. Anyway, Ben, how are you, mate?
Well, great to be here. By all means, I shouldn't exist yet if we're really back in 1997. Great to be here at the MCG.
Welcome to, you was just a sprog at that point, or whatever you want to call it.
Came through a little bit later, but that's another...
Yeah, we'll get to that later. And Damon, how are you, mate?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
Good. Rocking the 3-stripe. I'm loving it. And also, we've got Leighton, who's in period correct colours.
Yeah, 97 jacket on.
Yeah.
I'm still nervous though for the game.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game that we're going to be recalling today. So we're going back to Saturday, 27th of September, 1997, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the Crows finally make it to the grand final after having one of the most triumphant wins in their history as well, winning by 2 points against Winston Bulldogs. And Tugwell, your thoughts on that game, mate? It was only a week ago as the players are getting ready to come out onto the ground.
Well, I find it amazing because when you look back at, the Adelaide form in this final series, they were the comeback team. They came back against Geelong in the semi-final. They were down by 20 points at quarter time. They did the same thing at three-quarter time against the Dogs when they were down by 22. And there were just moments where you just thought, geez, it's the season over here for Adelaide, but they just continue to fight and they just showed so much heart. So let's hope in this final game of 1997 there's a little bit of heart left.
And we've come here for the one purpose, to take the cup, and I forgot the last bit, and you can see the balloons going up to sink themselves in Port Phillip Bay at some point as well. But Benny Mac, what's your thoughts as we see a bloke... he's knocking back a few frothies.
He looks like he's had a couple already today, doesn't he, Pete? He's set for a big day, as I think we are here for a great grand final.
Amen. And shout out to our sponsors, Trojan Aluminium, Payment SA, and Nathaniel's Coffee as well. Thanks for coming on board, Nathaniel's Coffee too. Damon, what are your thoughts on the game today? How's everyone looking coming out of the tunnel?
Well, considering we're going into this game without our superstar full forward who managed to do his ACL in the previous game, who knows? You get the impression there might be a bit of a Malcolm Blight surprise package come up in this game. There might be someone that gets rotated. I promise I don't know the results, by the way. St Kilda are a good team coming into this as well.
They all finished top.
Yeah.
They did finish, yeah. So they, they can play footy. And Adelaide only won 13 home and away games throughout this whole season. So they certainly weren't the best team coming into this game. They're coming up against the form team in the comp.
Correct. And Leighton, your thoughts on this St Kilda side, obviously without Spider Everett in their ruck as well, but they do have a Brownlow medalist and All-Australian Robert Harvey in the guts.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, I'm nervous from them. They're looking very ready for the game today.
Well, you bloody hope so.
Yeah. I'm more focused on the umpires today. We've got Hayden Kennedy, Mark Nash and Brian Sheehan.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous for the emergency, David Hallett. Do you think he'll get a go?
I'll give you... Honestly, Leighton, never considered it. Never thought about it.
Well, if you do, he'll be wearing the number 1, so keep an eye out.
We'll look out for that in the call.
Definitely will.
Yeah.
How about the goal umpires in Rod Davies and Mark Powell, though?
I know.
The stick's going to be waving well today, or...?
And my favourite boundary umpire, Daniel Gooch.
Yeah, get on Gooch. Yep. Second best Gooch to ever play at the MCG, and that right, Tugwell?
Graham's brother.
Yeah. Anyway, you can see St Kilda coming out on the ground with their crepe paper in the background too, and they're pooping their pants with excitement as well. Their first appearance in a grand final for a little while. First grand final for the Saints, I think it's 1971 off the top of my head.
Looking for their first win since 66 as well.
Correct. Yep, that amazing grand final where their captain swapped jumpers before he lifted the cup. So the only actual photo of their captain, Cowboy Neil, holding up the cup, he was wearing a Collingwood jumper. That says a lot about the St Kilda Football Club through the years, I feel.
Well, they're just afraid of holding up the cup in their own jumper.
Yeah, it seems it.
You can see they're coming out now, and they're coming behind Nicky Winmar, who lost his father yesterday. And,
very sad news.
Our condolences with him, hence the black armbands for the whole team. And Stan Alves as well coming out there too.
And what does the banner say this time?
Winning, that's all I can read.
Winning, good on you.
What looks like a large intestine.
Oh, when the Saints go... So they've just...
Jeez.
Yeah.
A lot of thought in the grand final match.
So I'll tell you what.
And shout out to their sponsors, Tui's. Tastes like crap, but what can you do? But Tugwell, what are your thoughts on the game today? Where do you think things will be heading, and where do you think the key matchups will be?
Well, the interesting part is you'd think that with all the stars in these teams, someone would have grand final experience. Bizarrely, only Darren Jarman on the field has grand final experience.
Yes.
He's won one out there with Hawthorn about 6 years earlier, so he's the only bloke out there that's actually going to know the nerves and the pressure of a grand final. Nicky Winmar out there, one of the veterans of the St Kilda side. You've got the Robert Harvey, who's the Brownlow medalist of the year, just pipping Chris Grant because of obviously ineligibility. So there's a lot of experience out there for St Kilda. But at the same time, the Crows, they're going in. It's only their 159th game in their AFL history, and unbelievably, they're going to walk out playing a grand final, and I think they might scare a few.
Well, let's hope so. And of course, Stan Alves and Malcolm Blight playing in a premiership together as well at North Melbourne, I think in 79 off the top of my head. Or 77. Nice stat sheet, which I've done myself. I didn't even bloody look at. Whoops. So you can see there's some key outs. We mentioned Spider Everett, but also Modra and Mark Rashudo out for the Crows too.
Yes.
And, 2 keys there. Benny Mack, what do you think of those outs for the Crows?
Well, definitely two that will probably hurt the Crows a bit there. Tony Modra kicked quite a few goals this season. Up there for the Coleman, I think. And Mark Rashudo obviously pivotal in the guts. And
He was close on Brownlow night too. Not too far off for the Crows.
Yeah.
he was. So a couple of big outs. Spider Everett probably not so much for St Kilda, but, you know.
Yeah. So we've cut to an ad break, allegedly. And we'll be back with you soon on the Crowject Grand Final recall. And we're back at the MCG for the 1997 Grand Final. We're here at the Crowject and we're doing the Grand Final recall, and we're coming up to the National Anthem with Craig Willis, the Master of Ceremonies, who will be leading us off here.
Welcoming back today's artists, let us prepare for yet another chapter in sporting lore in the most traditional way of all. Would you please be upstanding for the National Anthem to be led by Marina Pryor.
What a spectacle it is for the grand final, and thank you to Marina Pryor for building out those amazing tunes. We're only 2 minutes away from the grand final starting. Tugwell, where do you think it's going to go? Give us your predictions, mate.
Well, I don't quite have the moustache of Dipper to give you the special analysis, but I'll tell you, it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think they're pretty well even across the ground. To think that St Kilda have been the dominant team throughout the season is probably going to be a bit of a confidence booster for them. They know they go in on a ground they're very familiar on. They've got a lot of players and 4 Australians in their team. One not there today, Everett, but they've performed brilliantly throughout the season, whereas the Crows, they've had to fight and scrap through the finals. They've gone the whole way through, beating their opponents one by one and just having to knock out the whole way through and finding it tough. But I think there's going to be a bit of belief now. That's their first grand final. It's a special occasion, and this team going the whole way and finding themselves at the MCG. A lot of travelling fans as well. Nothing more exciting.
Amen. And
The St Kilda co-captains have won the toss and celebrated already. Kicking to the left of screen.
So, Tugwell, that was a lot of words, but who are you picking?
I think the Crows might have a good sniff today.
All right, and the Nathaniel's Coffee goal of the day. Who's your early pick for that one, my man?
Oh, gee whiz. You always like to back someone like who's got magic. I reckon a little bit of Darren Jarman today.
Jarman. Cool. And who you got, Benny Mack? who's going to win and who's got goal of the day?
Well, I'll follow Tugwell's lead, really. The Crows, I think, slight underdog, but can probably get it done. A bit of class through the middle. Should see them over the line. And, yeah, proven performer on a grand final stage, Darren Jarman will go for the goal.
Darren Jarman. And Damon, real quick, who you got, mate?
I reckon the Crows will get up at the end, but I'll go a little bit left field here, and I reckon there's a bloke running around for St Kilda, the little number 5, Austin Jones. He's got a bit of magic in him, so I'll put him down for goal of the day.
And Leighton, who you got, mate?
I reckon this is just the pre-show. I reckon we'll be back here next week. It's going to be a draw.
Wow.
And goal of the day, it's got to be Nigel Smart.
Smart, good call. I'm going to be going for the St Kilda because I'm a Debbie Downer and goal of the day. I actually don't mind Austin Jones. He's got the best average of everyone on the ground for this year. We're only 20 seconds away from the first bounce and it's going to be on for 1-1. Tugwell, take it away, mate.
Well, it's no better occasion. You're at the MCG on a Saturday afternoon. Sun's out. St Kilda have won the toss and Adelaide are in their first grand final. What can they produce on the biggest day of all? Darren Jarman gets his first fist to it and punched away here St Kilda with Burke. Off the half-back line, they reload. Kick out toward Lappin, takes it on the chest nicely. And the first mark of the day. St Kilda go forward. Inside 50 towards Lowe, over the back there, Pittman, nice fist. And here's Johnson. A handball to go backwards to Ben Hart. And he goes out toward the wing. And he finds Troy Bond.
And Troy Bond wheels around on his right foot there. He kicks it towards forward, towards Matty Robin, who takes a mark. He goes back behind and roosts it inside the forward 50 there towards a pack of players, but taken there by Shanahan. Handballed backwards, not taken there by St Kilda, and they'll rush it behind.
Early on, we're starting to see that game style of the two teams. St Kilda want to put it long. They've got a few big bodies in their forward line, and it makes a lot of sense just to put it out to the big dukes early as we see the bench.
Edwards looks nervous with his hair.
Doesn't he? He doesn't know what's going to happen with that hair. I wish I could go back in time and tell him. As St Kilda look for the kick out. I wonder if they're going to persist with the long kicks or if they're going to try and play it out here. Peckett puts it out to the pocket. Oh, it's a risky move.
Pressure on him.
Well done, Rentoul, crossing a lot of ground to make that effect.
Daniels. He left St Kilda, he joined them to start his career, left and then went to Sydney for a few years and then has returned here back to St Kilda in hope of winning a flag. Nigel Smart gets it down to Rentoul. In fact, it was Connell. He just missed it, a bit of an airy handball into the goal square. They managed to retreat, but only just for a moment of time. Here's Costa for the Crows. Can he keep their first goal? The grand final. It's just gone across the face. It'll be another behind. So up by 2 points in the first couple of minutes.
So it's interesting to see Shanahan trying to throw some haymakers there, trying to take out pretty much anyone if he could.
Whoever gets in his way, you reckon?
Oh, anyone, even one of the umpires. He might need the emergency umpire there.
Yes.
So Peckett kicks it into half-back there, punched down by Jarman, who has another flying shot, but it's wayward as well. He hits the post.
So
3 behinds to start with for the Crows here, a little bit sloppy.
Backline of St Kilda looks a little bit jittery.
Very jittery there. We had that pass a moment ago from Peckett that didn't quite find the target, and if the Crows could capitalise, it could be dangerous. Peckett kicks to himself, and he looks to dance around the forward there in Ellen, and he gets caught and taken down. Handballs it forward, though. Picked up there by the Saints, tackled again. Peckett retrieves it somehow. He's everywhere at the moment. Kicks it into the centre circle there where McLeod takes a mark, and he'll go back and look to go forward. He kicks it forward there to Robin, who takes the mark. There's 3 Crows free. It's Jarman again coming inside 50, but he misses again there to the right-hand side.
They're peppering the goals early.
Bit of a waste there, you got to say, because there was an overlap of 2 Crows running past that marking player there. There should have been more made of that, you think. As look at the travelling fans. Oh, don't they love it? Being in Melbourne for a horrible, horrible day, no doubt.
Yeah, it's awful weather. Yeah.
Awful weather in Melbourne.
It's all right, it'll change in 5 minutes though, so it's okay.
So they say. So they love to say. As St Kilda kick it out to the opposing pocket now. Smart up, but no cigar. St Kilda put it onto the wing. He goes for a running bounce. Puts it up long and strong. Who's there for the contest? It's McLeod.
Good double team of Windmart there.
Yeah, 2 inset marks already, McLeod.
Brilliant work here from Andrew McLeod on the half-back line. Just a short kick up to finds Nigel Smart. Takes his time as they reset. Few numbers flying up the ground here. Contested play. Was he bumped off at Pittman? Just kept his ground there. Burke controls it brilliantly. Little handball up toward the Brownlow medalist in Harvey. He finds Barry Hall. And now back to Burke, right on the boundary line. What can they find inside 50? It's going to be a shallow one. Looks for the ruckman and Cook. He just drops it. Here's McLeod again. Clever work. And out the back to Johnson, who's going to look to cross, but it's going to be tough. Had to beat a player in Heatley, but here's Winmar. First shot at goal for the Saints. They miss as well. No one can kick straight early on in this first term. 4 behinds plays 1.
You get the feeling that both teams are just looking jittery even in front of goals. Like you said, Leighton, that Adelaide's kicking 4 behinds, but that's a first shot for St Kilda.
Indeed.
Yes, thank you.
So Jamison taking his time picking up the ball here, really having a think about what he wants to do. Looks up the field.
He's wasting time already, you reckon?
I think he's just running the clock down, really. This 3-point margin, he thinks it's enough. He looks upfield. You think it's coming out the right here, judging by where all the players are going, and that's where he's looking to go. He pops it to around about the 50-metre mark where Pittman will take on Cook, and it's knocked down to Hart, who gets a handball forward to Wren. The two ruckmen standing together oddly enough, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, he couldn't bend down far enough for him.
So we'll have a ball in here just outside the attacking forward 50 for St Kilda. And 5 minutes into the first quarter here, Wren taps it, smacks it forward really. Gets it forward to Laffin there. He can't pick it up. Hart can't pick it up either, and it's brought into the bottom of the pack with Jarman, and we'll have another ball up at centre wing.
Going for the professional free kick there, Lappin, just sort of fumbling his way onto the ball there.
Look how big this logo is on the ground. It's taking up the whole wing.
I think they should bring back the big logo, to be honest. Oh, you reckon?
Yep. Until you start losing players in and amongst the paint, as I am now. And I will use that as an excuse for not knowing who anyone is as Burke brings it out. St Kilda on a bit of a run here. Burke puts it long and strong up to centre-half forward. Pittman is there. He has 2 cracks at it, but it's taken from him. There we go. St Kilda will it around onto the right boot. Is it through? It's good.
Heatley with the first goal.
That is a face and a head that only a mother could love or a St Kilda supporter, as they are demonstrating right now as they clap and applaud in the stand. St Kilda on the board, 1 goal, 1-7, up against the Crows. No goals, 4-4.
Early nomination there for Nathaniel's coffee goal of the day because it's the only goal so far.
But you'd have to say he's a favourite so far.
Yeah, absolutely. But good pressure there from Lappin as well, getting the ball to Heatley.
It's a bit of a floater. Every shot's been pretty rushed.
Yeah, correct.
Lots of pressure early in a grand final.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one as we see Peter McKenna up in the stands.
With his personal
Very
camera.
interesting camera view.
Yeah. Bit voyeuristic, but what can you do?
Straight back in the middle, Wren. Let's get a small hand to it. Thompson battling against Jarman. Was he dragged off it?
He was.
Umpire says yes. And Darren Jarman staying in the centre of ground for a couple of stoppages now. Looks up a field. Looking toward Robber, and wasn't a great kick in the end, and Aussie Jones just floats back, takes an easy uncontested mark. Young player Aussie Jones, 3rd season, just 20 years of age, coming up the ground now, far wing here at the MCG. Barry Hall flies across, lots of strength, but couldn't quite finish the mark. Harvey, little handball forward of play. And now
nothing forward.
Keogh looks back toward Hall. He runs to 50. He's got a good leg, but he lowers the eyes and hits up Heatley brilliantly. About 40 from goal here, and he can go back to back here for the Saints early on in this first term.
So much for having nothing forward, Leighton.
Barry Hall's been everywhere early.
Yeah.
He moves very well for a very big man, does Hall.
He did a good contest for that 3rd man up previously. But Heatley already with the...
He's already sweating.
Yeah, he's already worked up a sweat. He's already kicked a goal. He's thinking that's it for the day.
Leading goal kicker for the Saints this year with 73 goals. He's just been an outstanding player. He's got a chance to kick 2 in the very early stages of a grand final for his team. Spent a couple of years at West Coast, and here he is at St Kilda leading the way. From 50, unloads. It's a good-looking kick. Umpire watches it float over his cap, and the Saints have got the first 2. 8 minutes in to the first quarter.
You got to be thinking to yourself what Blighty is going to do for some changes in the box. It's starting to get a little bit out of hand with some of that forward movement.
Yes, clearly has to do something in the defence here, but we're back in the middle here, and Wren gets a tap forward. Through there to Costa, who slaps it on the boot, straight inside the forward 50 for the Crows towards Allen, who takes a mark, and he'll look to respond for the Crows.
Allen.
Hang on a minute, he's listed here full back.
The wrong end of the field, but maybe this could be a move that we were talking about there from Blight.
Or maybe this is just the old juniors tactic where you get told stay down that end of the field even if the footy moves.
He just didn't see the toss. He thought he was at that end. They were kicking the opposite way.
You got to think to yourself that obviously bloody with multiple grand final losses knows what he's doing. But
So Ellen comes in from about 45 out. That looks a better kick, and he's kicked a goal. And the Crows answer straight back.
beautiful kicking action there from Ellen. That was amazing. You can see that Crowy fans at the ground finally have something to cheer about.
And to think that Ellen hadn't kicked a goal all season, here he comes, just pops up in a grand final, kicks his first for the year. It's not a bad time to do it.
Not a bad start there at all.
Good mark too, nearly touched the ground, but he paid it.
Only 8 goals for his career. Make it 9.
You wouldn't know it watching that kicking action. Just hit it sweetly. Yeah. Goes through goalpost height as the umpire brings it back to the middle. Two big dinosaurs about to charge at each other again. Oh, I missed the days where they could just get a big old long run up as Wren. Nothing doing. Oh, here we go. Pick up here from St Kilda. Put it up to straight to the goal square. A little bit wide. Not quite handsome. Umpire indicates it's going through for a behind.
Thought Bickley might have been a bit stiff there in the middle, held off the ball, you'd have thought, but
Just a little bit. And what does this say? There's a maths equation on there. I'm not even going to buy into that. I'm sorry,
It was
viewers.
Crows divided by Crows equals 10 out of 10.
I'll get someone else to check that maths working now as Caven comes out of defence with a long raking boot up to the wing to Costa, who's being manhandled. Umpire, he's being manhandled.
between the both
Chases down Austin Jones, makes a bit of a 50-50 out of it in the end, but here's Barry Hall, a man who's been amongst everything lately with a clever handball back inside. Austin Jones, he's on a tear here. He's taken 1 bounce, he's taken 2. He cuts back inside. He puts it up to the goal square. How's it looking? Back to that right-hand side too. Tell you what, I hope that's not a sign of things to come.
Jeez,
Crows.
if that was if he flushed that one, that would have been a Nathaniel Scofield goal of the day easily.
I said earlier, Damon, that he was going to be one of those players that could pop up and kick one of those special goals. That was so close to being one.
There's the video analysis of Costa getting the centre clearance. For some reason, they've shown that.
Back to live play. 10 minutes in this first quarter. Handball away to Hart, who's going to clear it out of defence for the Crows. He sees Pittman wide on the members' side wing. Lowe's pulled him
easy.
off. And he's going to have to take a free kick and does. Plays on quickly to McLeod, who kicks up toward the forward flank. And it's a good connection. He finds Troy Bond.
He's been in good form lately, kicking most amount of goals of any Crow in the final series so far.
Who's he got in front of him here?
Not a lot.
Takes a lot of time to really get this kick away. Sends it up nice and high toward the hot spot. Ran the ruckman's there, always a good option, but Cook for St Kilda fists away into the forward pocket. We're at 15 metres out from goal, 11 minutes into the first quarter.
Not much leading happening there in that forward 50, so hotspot was probably the best option there.
no, very stagnant coming in, but we'll have a ball in just close to the goal, and Wren taps it forward in front of him. No one can pick it up there. Johnson at the back of the pack can't get a hold of it, and it goes through for a behind there off the hands of Jamie Shanahan. So the Crows sitting here at 1 goal 5, 11 to St Kilda 2-3-15, 12 minutes into the first quarter.
A lot of white caps in that bay.
Jeez, there might have been some sort of promotion, you feel, there. As Peckett kicks it in here, he goes to about the 50-metre mark and finds
Very dangerous.
Jones, but can't quite hold it. Jarman gave away a free kick there. Unsure what that one was for.
Jarman's been doing, Smart's done a few good spoils for some of the defensive kickouts for St Kilda.
He has indeed. Hudson under a bit of pressure there. Gives it over to Shanahan again, who's looking for a target out on mid-wing. Finds a couple of contests there, but Caven lurking at the back by himself. Bounces over his head and Hall streaks towards the 50. Kicks it in there towards the Saints. And Hart picks it up. Handball smothered there by Stewie Lowe. It's into a pack here, and it will get a ball up there just beside the St Kilda goal.
Tell you what, Crows are going to have to do something about this big, bad, bustling Barry Hall, who's just been breaking free a little bit across centre half forward.
Yes.
You forget, I made the comment before that he moves very well for a big man. If you were to look at him in a lineup, you wouldn't pick him for a runner, but geez, he covers the turf very well. As we see the contest going back over the boundary line, I think both ruckmen will be happy to call that an even contest there.
Heatley not happy about something there.
Heatley is one of these players that never looks happy, though.
The grumpy man.
I think they call it white line fever. That might be a more appropriate term. But yes, Grumpy Ben. As Pittman competes here. Doesn't get any of it. It's a bit of a heron scramble here into the pocket. The umpire's found something, has he? He has. It's going against Heatley. Over to Rod Jamieson. Stalwart of the Adelaide Football Club there at full back. And Jamo working in tandem today with a very young man, Ben Hart, good North Adelaide prospect, out of prospect. Puts it up long past the forward 50 mark. Scramble here on the deck. Can anyone make something from this? Yes, St Kilda can. They put it forward, but there's Ben Hart, the young rooster, as he ducks and dives. Someone needs to tell him to play within his limitations. He gets it back onto the boot, and it comes back out to Burke, who puts it straight back in. Let's see if Jamison can make something of this. He tries to find the boundary line, but can't. It comes back inside to Harvey. McLeod with the tackle, possibly the game-saving tackle, and Jarman just throws himself into the nearest body and says, umpire, give us a ball up.
I can understand why the St Kilda crowd were booing that one. That
Looked very high
on against Jarman.
Long passage of play. Back in the pocket again. Pittman up against Lowe. It's going to be Lowe's hands out of bounds. So another throw in. We've played 14 and a half minutes in this first quarter. St Kilda currently with with 2 goals, for the game. The Crows do have 1, but they've been a little errant at goal. 5 behinds. 2 of them rushed though. Pittman again. Gets the hands. Smothered kick from Winmar. Heatley again. He's already got 2 goals. It was cut off there by Wren, but it's not a great kick. Finds his opposition number in Cook, who's going to set back from about 45 from goal.
Not happy with the treatment there by Ben Hart.
I always worry when Wren comes out of defence with his left foot.
Yeah.
Never good.
Or any foot, really.
Or when a ruckman comes out of any defence.
Yeah.
So Brett Cook played a handful of games for Fitzroy for a few years and has joined St Kilda this season in 1997. Hasn't kicked a goal in the 1997 season. Can he kick one in the grand final? That, unfortunately for him, isn't going to be the goal he wanted. It's going to go through for a behind, and St Kilda have their 4th for the day. 2-4 plays 1-5 in this first term.
Indeed. So the Crows will get another kick out here and look to reset up the ground. And Jamison Ever, the
classic
faithful from fullback at the moment. He'll look to roost it out the member side wing here at the MCG, and he goes towards Costa and Jones again, and he looks like he's being held there, Costa, but gets a handball to Goodwin, who smacks it forward to mid-wing, but only as far as the boundary line, and that'll be out of bounds on the full. St Kilda looking to reset going forward.
Can be a bit swirly at the MCG in front of the Great Southern Stand, but that's no excuse. That was a crap kick.
Good, he's a bit nervous in his first grand final.
Absolutely. So Hudson puts it back towards the forward line, and that man, Barry Hall, can't get hands on that one. Down in the pack here, it's Caven bustling through, looks to get a handball, can't get it. Burke puts it forward to Bickley, who also can't get it. Barry Hall again, he is everywhere, but he's tackled to the ground on this occasion. We'll have another ball up just outside the St Kilda forward 50.
And the very young man, Simon Goodwin, in the number 36 there, wrapping up the much larger man in Barry Hall then. He's in for his debut grand final, as indeed most players are. We talked about it before the call that only 1 player has any experience today, as Pittman puts it out to 2 Saints. Winmar off the deck. He's harassed by Bickley. Or could have been in the back by Costa. In fact, it is. It looks like it definitely is in the back. And Kane Johnson looking to do the right thing and reset play, or not.
What was that?
Is that gamesmanship or sheer stupidity?
Just like us, we can't tell the difference between all the St Kilda players.
On that logo.
I feel like Kane Johnson, the professional, should have known where Thompson was and how to get back to him cleanly, but no, instead he looks to practice a bit of Madden there, Peter.
Yeah, it's let's put it this way: when you're running with the ball, you don't run away from a throw; you run into the throw. So you don't throw away from the body, or you throw like you throw like a potato, like he's about to just there.
Oh, Phillips has put it through for a behind.
He's rushed to it.
Another wasted free kick for St Kilda, and you've got to start thinking that these wasted kicks at goal are going to start racking up for them. They're 1 goal, 5-11. Crows, 2 goals, 5-17.
All the way around.
And look at this, he's running away from the ball. You just look at that, no follow through with the arm. It's all in the wrist. That was just piss poor.
God.
As Bickley kicks out of half back here for Adelaide. They look to move it up the ground. Nigel Smart leading the way against Hudson, pushes him off, looks to control with his hands and does well. Gets it to his advantage. Here's Costa. Can he fend off? He does. Does well. Here's Johnson. Not the greatest of handballs to Robber, and it was going so well. Here's Nigel Smart again from 50, unloads towards goal in the hotspot. Rental just drops and simple opportunity, and Cripps will kick it over the boundary line for St Kilda. They know the boundary line's their friend, and the Crows moved at transition football from defensive 50 so quickly.
Fantastic passions of play there for the Crows. But Kane Johnson still can't throw, still can't handle.
So Peckett picks it up for the Saints here. He kicks it to the near side wing here, and that's all open space in Andrew McLeod, which is danger for the Saints. He gets on his right foot into forward 50 for the Crows and gets it to Troy Bond, 45 metres out here on a tight angle. He's not looking particularly confident with what he's doing in terms of goal scoring, looking to pass, but
Do you think he made the distance?
looks like he's going back to have a shot here, Troy Bond. So he gets to inside 50 and has a kick, and it's a lovely kick at that. He's kicked the Crows' second goal, and we have a tie game here at the MCG. Fantastic kick from Troy Bond, and there's a convention centre in Adelaide with some happy fans at the moment.
He wasn't looking like he was too confident in that kick, but he got into it, didn't he?
He did.
Absolutely followed through with it from the pocket.
Great start to this grand final. Scores level.
And that's what you want. Big game, bigger stage, 2 even competitors. As Wren goes back into it. And it's Harvey straight out of the guts. When this man moves, things happen. But no, McLeod there to chop it off. What a game this young man's having.
3rd intercept mark for the quarter.
3rd intercept mark on the biggest possible stage. He's a man that knows what he's doing on this day in September. Jarman puts it up long, not quite held onto there. St Kilda moving the ball well here. Let's see if they can make the Crows hurt over on the gigantic Coca-Cola Premiership logo. Here's Ben, Andrew McLeod coming through, laces out. Is there a free kick there? No. Oh!
Connell's got hit high. And Rinsel's gone for a shot and hit the post.
And meanwhile, Connells is still on the deck trying to remember his kids' birthdays.
Well, that's a hard hit in 2021. That gets, 2022 even. We've gone past the new year. That's a free kick every day and probably a few weeks on the bench.
Yeah, Zilla, you dog.
Every time they show it, it looks more and more painful.
So ball back in here for St Kilda. Long kick out to about 70 from goal. It's just managed to be booted away, but it's going to be cut back off by Johnson for the Crows, and they rebound here through Goodwin. Inside 50 kick, just a bit too long. Ellen manages the little spin move. It was pretty clever. This time it's called high. Geez, you wonder how that one gets called, but the other one doesn't. And Shane Ellen's going to line up for his second goal. Can you believe it for Adelaide?
I think the logic there from the umpire is he can't call it head high if the man is left without a head. Tugwell.
Yeah, Brian Sheehan doesn't have much hair on his head either, so looking a little bit, oof.
It's pretty soft, but makes up for the last one.
Shane Ellen directly in front of goal at the MCG. Kicks beautifully. And the Crows extend that lead. 24 plays 17. And late in the first quarter, they've struck back well. Started brilliantly, then had a bit of a lull, let St Kilda come through, but now they've taken back that lead.
Oh, my favourite sign was Highport, wish you were here. In the crowd in the Crows cheer squad.
And we'll give it another 10 years for them to crap the bed. But I'll tell you what, Shane Ellen, he's looking money in front of goal. He's just looking, he's got a great kick in action there. 2 goals for the quarter so far for him.
Absolutely. So we line back up in the middle of the Crows with a 7-point lead. 22 minutes here into this first quarter. Wren can't get over the top there, and it's smacked down to Burke, who gets tackled there, pulled in a bit of a pack here. Someone tried to kick out of the air, and that'll be a free kick to the Crows.
Kicking in danger. You don't see that too often.
So Kane Johnson goes back. He kicks it forward towards the Crows, forward 50. And Smart falls over there, really. Looked like he was held onto, but can't grab it. Darren Jarman falls down to the ground there as well, and we'll have a ball up about 60 metres out from the Crows' goal. Possibly a few free kicks missed in that passage of play there.
I say Brian Sheehan, he's not wanting to blow the whistle today.
No, he's really letting him go. And he'll bounce it up here rather than throwing it up as well. And Sean Wren will get a tap over his head to Bickley, who can't quite grab a hold. Burke taken out with a very high bump, but again, no free kick. So the Saints through the middle here with a lovely few passage of handballs. It's kicked forward towards their 50, and we have a free kick for high maybe a moment ago.
No one in the crowd knows either.
Taking you right back to Rob Harvey here by the looks of it.
I think it was a late hit on Harvey.
Yeah. Doesn't look too scathed as the Brownlow medalist as we see the replay.
Video analysis.
Definitely a little bit late. Definitely a little bit Jarman. Definitely a little bit head high as Wren ends up with a handball, puts it straight out to the logo. Ooh, beat one. Jarman just pops it back up into the air. Harvey looks like he's recovered from that late hit as he puts it down towards full forward. Winmar playing it up a little bit perhaps.
Jeez.
Well, if he is, it worked because he gets the free kick here about 65, 70 out.
That is a bit soft.
Watch out, Kane Johnson. Don't throw it back to him.
Now, by the absolute letter of the law, Ben Hart has hit him in the head.
Sort of whacked him in the head quite a lot.
Quite a lot. Quite a bit, in fact. That was a little bit in the back too from Rod Jamieson, but it's the 90s. We'll let it go. McLeod puts it out. He just kicks in hope. Ends up finding the boundary line.
Boundary line is his friend. 3 goals, 6 plays, 2 goals, 5. Adelaide leading in their first ever grand final. Only a few minutes to go before we get to the first break. Wren just cut out there by Cook. Little kick around the body there from Keogh finds McLeod, who's had a few intercept marks already in this first quarter. Getting himself involved early in defence. Bouncing footy finds Connell, runs onto it and kicks from defensive 50 up the wing. Where it's Caven with a whole lot of space. He's going to tap it to his own advantage. How far's he got to take on the wing? 1 bounce, 2 bounce, gets to about 60 from goal, just unloads on the left. Bouncing footy toward the pocket. Here's Nigel Smart. The ball's going to beat him to the pocket. And they'll get a throw in with a few minutes to go. And they get themselves a late one.
Just some great running off half back from Caven and a few other Crows players this quarter.
Almost Caven lost himself with the ball and the logo there.
Running faster than a ball.
A fantastic call from Mr. Tugwell over here to my right.
So balled it again there. Robin taps it down to Allen. Snaps and he's hit the post for the 3rd time this quarter. The Crows can't get past that goal post.
And those posts aren't very thick, are they?
No.
They're not high either.
So the Crows move along to 3-7, playing 2 goals, 3 at the moment.
Yeah, we didn't
Got
want...
another video analysis in a circle here.
That's another circle.
Oh dear, what's this?
Hang on. That was a bit incriminating.
What was he saying Harvey did?
It was almost cock and balls, but we didn't get there.
So it's kicked out of defence by St Kilda and we'll have another throw in just outside forward 50 for the Crows. 25 minutes into the first quarter here. They lead by 8 points. And here it comes towards Wren and Cook. Wren gets the tap there down to St Kilda player Daniels, who kicks it forward to Jones, who takes a mark there just towards the middle of the wing. He handballs to Harvey, who can't quite get a hold of it because of Kane Johnson, and he'll go out of bounds again for another throw-in.
Early already, the Brownlow medalist getting amongst it. And one of the premier midfielders in this competition. Speaking of premier, here comes the 2 best big men in the comp as they split the difference. Costa picks it up around the Crows' half-back wing, puts it up long and strong to Smart. Can he take a mark? No. In from over the top. Winmar with a very clever handball back into the middle to Burke. What can he do? Laces out. Impeccable kick out to Heatley.
Good passenger play there. Good to see Winmar up in the guts.
And that's the danger of St Kilda. They've got those blokes that can get the ball, go for a bit of a run and carry, but then laces out. Like Burke here, just beats one, puts it straight out to the leading big man in Heatley. And Rod Jamieson, one of the best fullbacks in the game, there's really not much you can do there.
Now he's got the ball, but he still looks angry. He's going for a shot on goal. He's still unhappy.
There's really very little that will please him. We'll see if he kicks this. We'll see if he can crack a smile. From the Crows' point of view, we certainly hope he doesn't as he takes a nice long run in from 50 on the paint. It looks good off the boots. No, see, grumpy Heatley all over again as the umpire indicates that he has let it go through for a behind.
2 goals, 6 plays, 3 goals, 7. Heatley looking for his 3rd goal. Couldn't quite get that one to go. As Goodwin in the back pocket for Adelaide. Clears away, looks for Costa and hits him on the chest. Got himself involved a little bit as well this quarter here, Costa. Up toward Robran. Tries to shake the tackle. Couldn't do so. It was a good tackle in the end from Darryl Wakeland, but unfortunately a free kick's been found. It looked pretty legal at first. They play on straight away.
Bit of a lucky one there.
Sends it up toward the half-forward line. Smart leading brilliantly. Great strong hands from Smart. How quickly will he move it on? Tells him to go deep, and he'll send it deep. Big, long ball, up and under kick to the hot spot. He's got a one-on-one there. Ellen again just finds the fist. It's not quite going to get to the crumbs of the Crows, and Burke runs away with it.
So Burke kicks it straight down the throat of Matty Connell there just outside forward 50 for the Crows, and he'll look to put it in. He doesn't know where to go.
No one's leading.
No one's leading for him. Very stagnant. So he kicks it to the open man in Peter Caven.
How is he free?
And a shocking kick there. That'll be out of bounds off the
All
floor.
this space.
He could have run into about 15 metres out, but he chose not to, and he's really burnt it there.
Yeah, that's a defender's kick.
And what part of his sock did he kick that off of, Ben?
I reckon the 3rd stripe down from the top. So brought in again here from Zilla, and he pops it out just outside the 50, and Robin nearly takes the mark, but it comes to ground. Spilled in the pack. Smart handballs to Robin, who puts it back inside 50 again. Is Caven still standing alone? No, he's not. It'll fall between a couple of Saints who look to work it
Good
out.
pressure
but
there from Ellen.
spoiled there and out of bounds for a throw-in.
Ellen, who's having a fantastic game. He looks very far from home, but looks like he's fitting in well as Rod Jamison just sends out some instructions to his troops.
He's trying to call Ellen back.
You're at the wrong end of the ground.
We're trying to tell him all day he's lost. As the Rucks go at it, Smart over the top third man up. Bigley gets that completely wrong, comes off the little toe.
That's a captain's ball.
Yeah, the captain's been a bit quiet at the start of this grand final.
I think he's been copping a hard tag from Keogh from the looks of things.
And there's Sampson with a sore knee on the bench, been taken off.
Not good signs early when you see guys going off to the bench as we change cameras. That's
The
a bit
Gold
interesting.
Coast cam.
Would you look at that? Haven't seen that before or since as Harvey puts it up to St Kilda on the wing, and here's the young man in Austin Jones. There's one bounce. Let's see if he can take on another. He takes on Costa. Great smother there.
Cook.
Looks like Jones is going for, what's that, 4 bounces? 5 bounces.
still going.
He cuts back inside. Cheeky handball over the top to Phillips. Comes back to Austin as he's kicked it from outside 50. Has he? Has he? He has! One of the great grand final goals here at the MCG. Austin Jones with an absolute ball-tearing run down the wing. 5 bounces, 6 bounces, 7 bounces. Who cares with a handball thrown in between? As he
Amazing.
puts St Kilda out 3 goals, 6-24. Still just behind the Crows, 3 goals, 8.
And just great left foot. I like my favourite part here is the dummy kick.
Yes.
That turns into a bounce. Fumbled here, but then nice left kick from 50. Won't see much better goal than that.
Looking like a nominee for Nathaniel's Coffee goal of the day so far. And you can see Clay Sampson's being attended to.
And Jamison looks a bit sore.
One of the great grand final goals, as called there, Damon. Brilliantly done as the ruck work gets done once again. 2-point lead to Adelaide. They were deep in the first quarter. Jarman just about brought down Burke, almost intercepts, but a big fist forward there from Rintle. And now Jones will get around the body, sends it up toward the forward line, but he's got Tyson Edwards has come onto the ground. Winmar brilliantly shepherds and wins the footy to his advantage. Diving there was low, couldn't quite get low enough. Here's Hall, handballs away, looking for Winmar, just missed him. Thompson almost had his head taken off. And now the Crows, can they get one handball away? They can. Here's Costa. Handball's inside the centre square. Bickley runs along nicely, lowers the eyes, looking for Smut, just a bit too high over his hands. And running through Rintle. Back here's Bickley again. A captain's play perhaps. Not quite the handball to the feet of Robran. He loses the footy. Bouncing ball toward the boundary line. It's going to skip toward the line. Harvey escapes and Burke will do some clever work.
He can't
Underground
quite
hand
get
pass.
it out there though, and Harvey breaks away from the back 50 for the Crows. He pops it to centre wing there, but Wren's sitting there waiting for the mark. And
Surely
Hall
that's a
smacks it
50.
out of his hands. It could have been 50, but just not quite there.
Only a few seconds left.
So
in the
Wren
quarter.
goes around on his right foot, and that'll be quarter time with the Crows leading at the moment by 7 points, I believe it was.
Sounds good to me, Ben.
Oh dear, what a quarter, what a quarter.
And also a little bit of injury worries here for the Crows early on. Hamstring issues by the looks here from Rod Jamison. Not good signs. Their big full back. They'll want him in the rest of the game. But quarter time, it's the Crows by 2, 3-8, leading 3-6.
And Sampson with the ice on the thigh as well. That's a worry.
Yeah, so we're going to be down 1 rotation for this quarter, and you can see that Malcolm Blight, he's lost his hairpiece, allegedly. Nice. But we'll be coming back here in just a few moments. Welcome back to the MCG for the Crowject Grand Final recall, the 1997 Grand Final. Shout out to our sponsors, Nathaniel's Coffee, Paymet SA and Trojan Aluminium. Well, boys, it's been one hell of a first quarter as well. Tugwell, what are your thoughts so far on the quarter, mate?
Well, so far, St Kilda have been good in front of goal, but unfortunately some that went astray. 3 goals, 6. They look good. They look dangerous going forward, but the Crows missed opportunities too. They go forward quickly. Their transition is great from defence, but just times where they just, Peter Caven right in front of goal, just missed opportunity. There's things that just don't quite work out forward at the moment for the Crows. However, Ellen with 2 goals, amazing little move. Interesting to see whether he'll stay there, but 3 goals, 8, they want to improve their kicking.
And we got the first bounce as well, the second quarter. I'll give it over to Benny Mack.
So Wren sockers it off the ground towards the forward 50 for the Crows there. Not quite picked up, but Smart manages to get it there. Comes into the middle of the pack and handballed forward again though, and it's picked up there by Jones, not quite. Jones lays a tackle there on Kimmy Costa, and it'll be a ball up about... Oh, he's been holding the ball.
Sheehan, what are you doing?
Very stiff there, but Jones will take off with it and kick it towards the wing here for St Kilda. He gets Harvey, the champion, who wheels around on his left as well. Kicks it towards the centre wing, spilt by Winmar, and Connell taken over the line for a throw-in.
Bit of ferocity coming in from St Kilda, I reckon, for this start of the first quarter.
Trying to get the jump on him as we look at the Adelaide Crows bench. That is some worrying signs, seeing the fullback, especially in Jamison, wearing his tracksuit. Surely you'd think now that means Ellen goes back down to fullback as a crunching tackle is laid by, who is that? Is that Edwards? Fantastic work, young man, on Thompson, who allegedly, I've been calling the wrong name for most of this game. Apologies for that, Andrew Thompson enthusiasts.
And Hudson, the sniper, tried to take out Kimmy Costa there.
Fantastic legal hit from back in the day. Rucks go at it, third man up there. Burke trying to make something. Oh, just got the hands out to Harvey, or did he?
Run out of bounds.
Come on back, says the umpire. You put it over the boundary line. Nothing doing here on the centre wing. Harvey still having a fantastic game, as everyone would expect he would. Rucks go at it again. Wren wins that one clearly.
Was it high on Bickley? No.
I don't think so. I think Bickley just lost that into the turf as he went down there.
Some good pressure here, second quarter. Just saw so much pressure applied in the first, which is what you expect in a big game like the grand final. Top team plays the fourth. Tap away here from the Crows to their advantage, but Jones will handball back to where it started. Here's Bickley. Can he fend off? It's holding the ball, surely. Not quite. The Crows get a reprieve through Johnson. And now with Wren, who just snaps around the body. High ball. Robberin couldn't get it. Was well defended. Hudson defends with a nice handball backwards to Shanahan, who's going to send it and just clear it long. Cameraman's lost it. Thompson's found it. I think, in fact, it's Peckett who takes a bounce on the wing. And another one. Members enjoying this run up the ground here from the Saints. He's going to take 4 bounces. Maybe a fifth. Chooses to handball instead. Who's he got? Keogh. No, doesn't go back to Peckett. He's got Barry Hall, who can kick long from 60. That's going to be some sort of goal from the Saints. Wow. What a kick. Barry Hall, he's got the strength and he's got the power, and he puts the Saints back in front.
That's another nomination for Nathaniel's Coffee goal of the day. Tell you what, 60 out, just bombing a fatty there, wasn't he? Big bustling Barry Hall, wasn't he, Leighton?
Yes, another coast-to-coast goal. We've seen 2 now with Barry Hall finished off there and Aussie Jones in the last quarter. Worrying signs for the Crows early.
Hall would have to be an early shout for Norm Smith at this stage. He's tearing this game apart all over the ground, really.
I feel a little bit for Justin Peckett, a defender who's done all that work, and the handball flies over his head and he doesn't get the chance to kick a goal. He'd be a little bit flat.
Definitely.
Okay, so smacked out of the middle there, going towards the Crows forward 50. It's Jones juggling to himself. Takes a bounce and handballs to centre wing, where he finds Daniels, who handballs it back to Jones. Jones kicks it forward and can't quite get to that one. Can Heatley, and it goes out of bounds for a throw-in.
They're right in front of the Telstra sign, but if you can tell your friends about One Tel back in 97, probably up until 99. So that's a shout out to some of our older listeners.
Crows in the home team's coach's box. Is that an advantage?
Interesting. Well, St Kilda can't get it away there, but Harvey decides to pick it up in his tackle, but gets his handball away. Heatley again can't quite get it. Really bobbling around here in the middle of a pack, and Heatley with it again, back to Harvey. To Winmar, who kicks it inside forward, 50 to Barry Hall again.
Oh, here we go.
Here he goes. He'll line up from about 45 out to extend the St Kilda lead to 10 points. He's, as I said a moment ago, he's everywhere at the moment, and surely a good shout for Norm Smith if we were judging it right now.
Yeah, him and Aussie Jones have been the best for St Kilda, in my opinion, to start off with.
Tearing it apart.
Probably throw Harvey in the mix as well, but
yeah.
As I keep saying, if you've got a bloke this big, he covers the ground this well, he's very hard to stop when he's in good form.
So he comes in as he crosses the paint of the forward 50 there. It's a lovely looking kick and he brings it back. That's another goal for the Saints. Hall has 2 in a row. St Kilda lead by 10 points here, 4 minutes into the second quarter.
He's on a bit of a tear here, Barry Hall, and he's looking like he could be the Payment SA player of the day. Or the Norm Smith. I think the Payment SA player of the day is a more important award in my opinion. But it's a good tackle there from Johnson. It was good pressure there in the midfield there for that passage of play that led towards Winmar clearing towards Barry Hall.
About 10 players around the ball there as well.
There's not much else you can really do about that, but Peter Cavan, pull your socks up, even though they are up.
Well, they have made that move. They've put the tallest and the more sprightly of the defenders in Cavan on Hall, because something had to be done as Rucks go at it once again. Harvey, is he tripped there? Looks like the tackle slid a little bit low on the umpire blue. Nope, just give it back to me. I want a shot, boys. As he bounces it up pretty much right back there in the middle of the ground. McLeod hunting, but can't quite get to it. It's a bit of a sloppy ball movement here. St Kilda managed to get it up forward. It's a scrambling boot. Where's this going?
Oh,
Barry Hall.
Guess who again? Guess who? Tell you what, if I said it was a raffle, that man's got his name written on every single ticket. As he plays on, umpire says no.
It's been brought back.
No, not today, Barry. Come on back.
He's trying to open up the angle because it's very tight if he goes for a drop punt.
Bloody Brian Wet Blanket Sheehan. He's been the fun police today.
And as the policeman gets out of the way for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, shout out to Vic Police.
Brian's
Drunk
brother.
bloody idiot.
Now, a fun game to play at home, everybody. Just try and lip read the Crow supporters here behind them. What sort of advice do you think they're trying to give him? One lady is very enthusiastic there with her newspaper.
Where's been made a musil?
What sort of club has Barry got in his bag? He's got the right one. He's got the perfect wedge for that kicking action.
Three in a
Barry
row.
Hall right now is absolutely exerting his influence on this grand final.
3 goals in 6 minutes. St Kilda 42, Adelaide 26. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Blighty will be tearing it up in the home coach's box.
They're under the pump. They just haven't been able to get their hands on the footy, and especially not centre clearance.
Right place, right time for the St Kilda mids right there. Just Wren trying to do a handball. We know what it's like for Ruckman doing handballs. Just don't. And Barry Hall with 3 goals. He's tearing up the second quarter. Caven's probably pulling his hair out. And it's not looking good at the moment. Over to you, Tugwell.
16-point lead here for the Saints. On a real momentum wave. Here's Thompson again, another clearance for the Saints. Can they go 4 in a row? Doesn't look for Hall this time. Just sends it inside 50. Heatley's taken a mark on the chest. Uncontested by the looks, he just ran in front. And it might have been Pittman defending. And the Crows under some serious heat here. This could be a 4-goal start for the St Kilda Saints on their home turf. Ben Hart it was in the end. Just sort of pushed him out into position. Didn't quite get his fist in the way to stop the ball and just landed on the chest. Heatley already with 2 goals and a behind at the other end to start the game. He's absolutely on fire. St Kilda on fire. What can they produce? Going to be 4 in a row to start the second term. We've only played 7 minutes. Kick looks all right. It's a little bit floating toward the other way, and it is. It's going to hit the woodwork. So first behind stops the flow a little bit, and the Crows will get their hands on the footy.
That's a big let off for the Crows. That would have hurt if the St Kilda kicked that one. But he still looks angry. Even though he's kicked 2 goals and the Saints
Here's
are up in
another
the grand
doodle.
final.
No, it's not a cock and ball.
It's video analysis though. Don't you worry.
It looks like the handball opened space for Barry Hall for his big goal a moment ago.
Very first one of the
First of 3. So it's brought in here to half-back, and Andrew McLeod gets hands to it past Harvey. A lovely mark.
He's got sticky fingers at the moment. He's
He
taking
has.
everything.
Straight through the middle he goes toward Smart, who can't quite take the mark there, but it falls. Oh, it falls again. Hitting at the bottom of the pack here. Out on mid-wing, it's Peckett who looks towards the forward 50. He kicks in long, and it's Heatley again. He is on fire, but he decides to take this one out of bounds.
It's on fire, kicking behind.
50-50 ratio at the moment. He's going all right. And high Bonge.
G'day, Bonge, if you're watching.
Yeah, great sign that is.
Very well made. So a ball in here just outside the forward 50. And Harvey gets his hands to it, but he can't quite control it. To the ground here, and Kane Johnson scoops it up. Very clean hands, but he's tackled by Burke. Bond picks it up and kicks towards the centre of the ground where McLeod's there to scoop it up. He's tackled by 2 Saints. The pressure at the moment is incredible, but McLeod decides to jump around. Gets it back to James, who kicks it to centre wing, and it's Peckett cleaning it up off the ground. He's tackled by Connell. Umpire not doing much at the moment. It's Johnson picking it up. Handballs to Bickley. Bickley through the centre of the wing. Kicks it towards the forward 50 where Rintoul is waiting. But it falls to Shanahan, who kicks it to mid-wing towards Jones and Costa. These two having a good battle today. And Jones pops it out of bounds.
And the 2 number 5s out on that wing. I wonder if that's how the coach is meant it to be, or if it was just dumb luck as we scan over some of the travelling Crows fans.
We all know the camera's coming here.
Wren taking a bit of time on the bench. Hopefully it's nothing to do with that knee, which looks heavily strapped.
Yes. In the meantime, Keaton in the ruck.
Keaton rocking the helmet. As Winmar yet to really exert himself on this game, but he's been there in a bounce. As Costa takes it back over the line. Yeah, the competition between him and Aussie Jones has just been hotting up as the game goes on. You'd have to say Aussie Jones has got one up over him with that remarkable goal he kicked in the first quarter. Keating and Sarakovsky go up against each other in the ruck. comes out, but not willingly. And it's locked in there again on the big old logo. You'd have to say all these stoppages will be suiting the Crows at the moment because St Kilda looked like they were about to blow the game away a little while ago.
Yeah, they just needed to slow the game down a bit to stop Barry Hall scoring all the goals.
Try and wrestle back a little bit of momentum as Keating goes up again against Swarovski, and it's come straight back down to Keogh, who puts it up. Smart's done well here,
Good
just
job,
regained the
Smart.
footy. Well done. Let's put it up. Who's there as an option for him in the forward line? Unfortunately, it's that man, Wakeland, a future Port Adelaide star, who's put it into the breadbasket of Roper and who's put it out to a friend who puts it straight back into Ellen, who's still down there in the full forward line. McLeod to work a little bit of magic, and he has worked some magic with that handball from around the corner. Goodwin laying the pressure there. Stacks on the mill. Umpire, come over and sort it out for me, please.
Good job by Hayden Kennedy there, putting away the whistle. There were a few free kicks that could have
There was a
gone
few
that way.
holding
Just a
on
few.
the plays.
So Crows yet to score this quarter. And you can see it's been a little while since they've had it. We're 11.5 minutes into this term. Bounce down, 30 out from the Crows' goal. Good opportunity for them to do so. Coming through Rentoul, handball over his head, looks for Bond, but it's just going to beat him to the line. Rolls over. 43 plays 26. The Crows down currently in the grand final of 97. It's been a good tussle. 3 goals, 8 in the first term, the Crows. They just couldn't quite kick straight, and here they are. Battling again for a hopeful score in this second. Tackle there. I think it's Keogh who's been brought down. Umpire says play on, all fair. In comes Costa, picks up, drives through about 3 or 4 players. May have had the advantage, but unfortunately for St Kilda, they won't get reward. There'll be a ball up once more.
Yeah, should have been holding the ball there, I reckon. St Kilda stiff.
In this day and age, you'd think it would have been.
Absolutely. So a ball up about 35 out from the Crows' goal. Robin can't quite get his hand to it, but he punches it forward to Bond, who picks it up. Handballs back around to Bickley, was it, who snaps a goal. It was Goodwin on his left foot
Good
there.
job,
the young
Goodwin.
man.
Goodwin.
Great goal.
Took us all by surprise.
So the Crows bring it back to a 11-point margin here. They're 4-8-32. St Kilda 6-7-43. We're 12.5 minutes into the second quarter here.
Of course, Goodwin with the clutch goal in the prelim last week and that amazing win. He's able to exert himself in the forward line too with that beautiful snap on his left as well.
Absolutely, a lovely goal there. So we go back to the middle of the ground where Keating and Cook are going to run at each other here, I think it is. Keating gets the tap forward down to Kane Johnson, who smacks it on his boot towards the Crows forward 50. And it'll be a hanging on free kick to St Kilda. And Peckett kicks it out towards the wing area where it's Burke taking on Jarman. Jarman gets a punch, but only as far as Harvey. Harvey taking a run towards the centre wing, and he kicks it towards Lowe, who takes a mark there. And he will look to go towards the St Kilda forward 50.
Low, big and strong. He's calling for someone. Make a bit of a movement, please, Nicky Winmar. He puts it long, tall and handsome, but this tall body's the Crows. Oh!
Edwards with a big fly.
Very nearly Edwards with the mark of the day, but it's
Barry
come
Hall
back down to
again.
that man again, Barry Hall. He hasn't done much with this kick. I think he's just hoping for the boundary line, and they can cut the difference from here. But tell you what, Edwards got up a little bit higher. He's not known for that. That's not always in his game to ride a couple of ruckmen like he did.
Almost had the Trojan Aluminium mark of the day there.
He's looking for a good autographable photo souvenir, I think, there. As the rucks put it out, Pittman there at ground level. Winmar's trying to dive through, but can't quite get past Keating.
Jarman signalling to the umpire that was holding the ball.
I don't think he's going to get much out of the umpires today if we learned anything about their style.
Keating with a helmet head trying to replicate Nathan Burke. He's not fooling anyone.
No, here's Lowe, does a bit of ruck work. Here's Heatley again, just bangs it on the boot, but it's going to go over the line, fumbled by Lowe as it goes over. They're behind for St Kilda, they're second for the quarter. They started with a bang. 3 real quick ones through Barry Hall. And since the Crows have been able to stem that flow a little bit, 12-point difference. To head right up into the top of the stand.
And Peter McKenna, who was just chewing on a 4 and 20, I reckon.
Yeah, he doesn't know where to look for the massive zoom-in camera.
So out of defence, as Caven sends it long. Nice 60. In fact, it couldn't have been Caven because he's taken a mark. 60 from goal. Good to see the high definition quality cameras in 1997. Tackled as he plays on with a kick up toward Costa, punched out of bounds into the interchange benches.
The old sneak attack.
Stewie Lowe just trying to creep up on him right there. He did a good job of it.
Yeah, no protected zone here in 1997. And the fourth umpire, John Russo, mentioned earlier, as we ball in on centre wing here, and it's going to be McLeod breaking away from the pack. He handballs it forward there. And it's Nigel Smart who can't quite pick it up. He gets it on the second grab, but handballs to no one. Keating can't quite take a hold of it. And there's Daniels for St Kilda who handballs over. It's bomb forwards towards the forward 50, and Winmar can't quite take a mark. Very fumbly at the moment, and Winmar's set upon by Jarman and goes to the bottom of the pack, and we'll have another ball up about 60 out from the St Kilda goal. 16 minutes into this second quarter, it's St Kilda with a 12-point lead on the Trojan Aluminium scoreboard. So it's bounced up just outside the St Kilda forward 50, and Lowe can't quite get a hand on it, but Jarman pops it on his left foot towards the Crows forward 50. Bickley could have had a free kick there, but he's set upon by a few tackles, and we'll have a ball up.
Could have been high there, but umpire didn't want to have anything to do with it. They put the whistle away most of the game.
Surely. I mean, Goodwin was wearing his arm like a seatbelt there when he went down. I thought he'd get something out of it. Puts it up. It's still Keating in the ruck for the Crows as Wren warms himself down on the bench. Hopefully he comes back out soon. This game has descended almost into a rugby union match in the last sort of 10 minutes.
I was going to say, a bit of shutdown footy from the Crows, and Don't blame them for that one.
No, it's a smart move. Just try and rest back a little bit of momentum, try and find it down the outside. Speaking of outside, that man wearing number 23, hopefully he can get his hands on the footy at some point.
Harvey lost his boots there.
And Bickley did not lose the football. Oh, fantastic work there from Costa. Just manages to shake the tackle. And that battle between him and Oscar Jones continues as the Crows manage to find the boundary line. Possibly frustrated in their efforts to move it forward, but at least it's in their forward 50 and they can reset and go from goal for here.
Bond been very good for the Crows. His one goal, very good goal at the start of that first quarter. Adelaide still down by 12. Can't be punched away there from Robran. Daniels connects up nicely. Thompson on the members' wing. Sends it up. Barry Hall there, the target. Did he manhandle though? Very good mark. Took it with one hand. Umpire is going to say, as such, it's going to be a free kick to Adelaide.
Good call there, Nash.
Peter Caven sent it back the other way. All that hard work done by the Saints, and they couldn't free it up. Over the hands of Pittman though. And Serakowski just sends it backwards, a little bit like rugby union, through the legs. Inside 50 here for the Crows. Could be dangerous. Sends over the boundary line.
No.
Another throw in about 20 metres out. Peckett there, fullback for St Kilda.
Tell you what, Pittman got away with a kicking in danger there just before. Just belted that ball 50 metres forward.
Okay, so balled in, centre of the forward 50 for the Crows. Out the back here, who have we got? It's McLeod and Goodwin can't pick it up. Out to Edwards, who snaps around the corner, but it's another behind for the Crows. If that, it has snuck in for a behind. So back to an 11-point margin here. 33 plays 44, 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And Peckett will take it in for St Kilda again. Not really rotating around the kick-ins much here, St Kilda.
Not believing in that either.
Bit of stat padding, you reckon?
Absolutely, I reckon.
Supercoach points there on offer.
And he finds Wakeland, who has received a pretty lucky free kick there against Kim Costa. Wakeland just pops it to centre wing where he has got Jason Daniels waiting. He juggles a couple of times, but he takes the mark. He'll go back and look for a target up forward. Bombs it towards the 50-metre mark there where Lowe is playing on Pittman. Comes to ground here with Hart and Caven. Caven, for the first time in this quarter, looks to get on top of Hall. He can't do it, and Barry Hall still manages to find the ball. Ducks around 1-2, handballs towards Lowe. It's popped away by Connell, and then to Jarman, who kicks it towards centre wing, but it's probably going to come back. Into a bit of middle of nowhere here, and Wakeland streams forward and kicks it towards the forward 50 again. Jarman picks it up, and I'm not sure that was a mark, but it was paid. Kicks it to centre wing where he's got Costa waiting. He's away from Jones for the first time today, and he kicks it in the forward 50 for the Crows where Ellen's waiting. He can't quite take a mark. And Shanahan looks to kick it towards the boundary, and it'll not quite go out there. Kept in. Ellen handballs to Edwards, who kicks it into Bond. Beautiful. Somehow they kept that one in.
Rintle with a great tap back.
Excellent there by Rintle.
Absolutely, and Bond will line up for his second goal here and to bring it back to a 5-point margin. 20 minutes into the second quarter. Can he kick it? He has kicked a goal.
Excellent.
And the Crows are back within a goal here at the MCG.
It's one of the silence around the MCG. Speaks volumes as we see the recreation centre there in Adelaide. Getting up and about. And yes, in case you were wondering, it is the 1997 Grand Final.
And there was graphics supplied to you by GoldenEye 64, about now on Nintendo 64. Only $69.95 at Target. Or John Martin's as well. As we can.
As we see Caven coming to the bench. Hopefully that's just for a quick breather.
Looks a bit ginger.
He does, doesn't he?
It's a tough quarter on Barry Hall. He's probably been smacked around a little bit out there.
Yeah, his left eye, his right eye was getting looked at, getting patched up.
But the good news is, off with Caven, on with Wren.
Great substitution. He's been off for about 10 minutes now.
He's had an outstanding half as well, Sean Wren.
Absolutely. Hopefully he's ready to get back into the action. Hopefully Caven's not out for too long. As Rod Jamieson still wearing the tracksuit, which is not a good sign. Winmar in the middle. Manages to just about get his head taken off by Keating. I think the umpire's seen it.
He's paid it the other way.
You're kidding.
Winmar lines up. Puts it long out of the square into the forward line. Crows defenders playing behind there, but they managed to get the spoil through as Smart tracks the ball, but no, it's that man again. And Austin Jones with an absolute sweeping handball, which did not do Tony Brown any sort of favours there. The ball is pinging around like an absolute pinball here. We're not far away from multi-ball as Austin Jones puts it into the forward lip 50. That man again, Barry Hall, but McLeod just goes, nope, sorry Barry, you've had enough of it, putting it over the boundary line.
And Robin's been moved on to Hall, probably a good move because Caven has been struggling with him and he's struggling with the sore eye at the moment.
So hopefully for the Crows, it turns out to be a better result than another injury. They don't need another one. Here's Goodwin, just controls it and gets it to his own advantage. Rintle diving, does pretty well though, but didn't have any friends to help. Ellen comes sweeping through. In the end, Sirakovsky gets it to Cripps and he gets a handball forward. There's Hall again. He's had a great day. Robber now the new matchup for him. Bouncing footy toward Burke on the 50, running away with it. Here they go, Zilla sends it towards goal. It's floating across the place completely. Is it going to stay in for Ben Hart? It won't. And this 6-point advantage stays the same here for St Kilda as we enter red time in this second quarter. Half-time approaching. Helicopter cam out here in the 1997 Grand Final.
Classic.
They need to bring that back.
Yeah, bring back the Whitman sampler. Blink.
So a ball in there.
Tries
I think
to
it was
take 'em
Cripps
out.
went over the top. Couldn't get it, but it's paddled out to Harvey, who has a snap around the corner, and he's kicked a goal, I think. Umpire says yes. Went straight over my head. That's a goal for St Kilda, and we're back out to a 2-goal margin.
I'll tell you what, St Kilda fans would be happy to make something out of that because there was that passage of play that was on the members' side where they somehow almost managed to lose the ball there, but they managed to get it back, and Harvey with a beautiful snap around the body.
I'm not sure why he was confused for it. Went straight through the middle of the goals. He
Looked a bit shocked.
He was thinking of the Libba call last week.
Yeah.
Just make sure.
Yeah. But he probably won too many Crown Lagers as well. Possibly.
Another Crows one down with Brett James having a bleeding ear.
Yeah, a bit of claret.
Malcolm Blight's obviously been into him then.
Oh my goodness. Anyway.
So back into the middle of the ground here, a 2-goal margin for the Saints, and the big ruckman Keating goes towards low and he smacks it forwards. Nothing made of it for the Crows, and Winmar, he picks it up and kicks it towards the forward 50 for St Kilda, where Caven, fresh back on the ground, is waiting. Can't take a mark. Falls down there to Brown, who snaps inside 50 towards Barry Hall. Pittman's been rotated onto him now, but Hall picks it up off the ground. He snaps around the corner, but no luck on that one.
Nearly kicked his 4th for the quarter. For the game.
It's amazing. Sometimes in a game of footy, you must start thinking, what can we do about this bloke? But in reality, Barry Hall's too big, too strong, too fast, and too good a form. So I think the Crows are just going to have to keep rotating through and hope for the best as Ben Hart takes the kick out from full back and finds Pittman. He got lambasted by his coach earlier this year for a pathetic, pitiful performance.
That was a pathetic kick too.
It was a
What the hell
pathetic
was
kick as the ball goes out over the boundary line.
Well, it's looking like 13 points in the 24-minute mark, but I tell you what, with Pittman going on to Barry Hall, it's looking like desperate times.
Brett James still getting touched up there as Edwards gets to clear here for the Crows. It's going to head toward the boundary line once more. Peckett's there, but he'll see it over comfortably. Crows currently 5 goals, 9. Can't quite keep up with St Kilda. They've been good. 4 goals for the quarter. They're 7-9.
There's a video analysis of how he missed the goal.
So the goals are there, and he kicked the wrong way.
I'm starting to see his mistake there.
Starting to wonder how these footballers can't get it without that video analysis. As they send it over the boundary line again, James is going to get himself a new Guernsey because he's got a little bit of blood on the last one.
It's on the blood there.
Is that a player issue? We've got to find out about that one later.
Not anymore. Match worn.
So he's around, taking on low. Winmar does well to dodge around. Thompson connects up with the great man in Robert Harvey. Sends a shallow inside 50 kick, leading though brilliantly is Ben Hart. Just read it well in front of Heatley, and he'll get out of defence for the Crows.
Absolutely. He kicks towards Mark Bickley, who streams out of the half-back line. He's looking for someone in the middle of the ground, but goes a little further on, where he kicks it straight to Nigel Smart, who will take a mark just outside 50. Probably a bit beyond his range here, and he looks towards the forward 50 where Jarman's is running around in circles, really. Trying to send Shanahan the wrong way.
Bit of ringer Rosie there.
Touch his left shoulder, run right, Darren, go on.
Another surprise matchup with Smart playing up forward.
So, looks like Nigel might have a shot here. 7 career finals, matching his Guernsey number. He has a ping from about 55 out, and it's a decent-looking kick as well, but just touched on the line and popped into the post.
That's the 5th post, I reckon.
It is.
Pretty dumb there from Smart. He should have looked for the lead.
Darren was stuck behind Shanahan, unfortunately. So we move along to 5:10:40, playing St Kilda 7:10:52, and it's found to a St Kilda player in the pocket there.
He's an intimidating looking man, this bloke.
He is. Goes short to Peckett. I reckon that's the first kick out that he hasn't taken, but he still finds the ball. Another short one there towards the centre square, and somehow Brown has found himself all alone. He streaks to the middle of the ground and kicks it inside 50. Caven gets a little hand on it towards the boundary, and Benny Hart smacks it outside, and we'll have a ball in just outside the St Kilda forward 50.
Ben Hart, who's starting to get his hands on the footy a little bit in recent times, which is a very good thing for the Crows. Mercurial centre half back. I might have mentioned before that he's a good North Adelaide prospect.
Oh, God.
I'll try and work it in wherever I can as McLeod gets his hands on the ball and goes for a bit of a run. Puts it, laces out, but the mark cannot be reciprocated. So he just goes and gets the ball again. Puts it back out. Oh, umpire, please, Bond has been caught too high. Apparently, no, he's been caught holding the ball instead.
Thank you, Mark Nash.
There's absolutely no justice in the world as St Kilda, the unknown player, kicks it out from the back of the centre square, out to the top of the flank. Just, that's it. If you can't get your hands on it, just battle it forward. The Crows try and make something happen here along the wing, but I think all that's going to happen out here is a ruck contest at centre wing. Over to Tugwell.
I reckon our ruck, our unknown player might be Cripps, I think.
I think he was spot on there.
Cripps just had a late bump there on the number 11 for the Crows. I'm having a brain fart here. But
James.
Brett James, yeah.
So Burke gets a little handball away. We're into the last minute of the first half at the MCG. Good mark taken in the end there as well. Neil forced the Saints. And they get themselves a 3-goal lead at the half-time break. Sending a high ball in at 30 out from goal. Punch there from Hall. Little handball. Here they go again. Thompson, he's had a shot already before. Sends it across the face. It's happened a few times now this quarter for the Saints. It's a bounce through for a behind. It's in fact hit the point post. Looked pretty close. And
They haven't been watching the video analysis, clearly.
they clearly need to go in a different direction.
Someone needs to draw the arrow in chalk on the ground. I think that might have a bigger impact.
So sending it back into the hot spot. Here's Barry Hall. He's had a huge quarter. Started off hot. Hasn't quite been able to keep that form as Edwards exits the defensive 50. Was looking for Connell, went over his head, and now the chase is on. Neil. Handball's on the ground to Daniels. Now shallow inside 50 kick. Couple come together. Good mark there in the end by Keogh. Brilliant effort. Mark Bickley not strong enough to get on him there and stop the mark. And him set up potentially for this last kick of the half.
There's the sign.
On the side. Keogh and Bickley have been going at it pretty much. Ooh, he's going for it quick.
So for a 3-goal lead, can he get that line like the video analysis suggested? Not quite. It's going to be a 13-point lead here for the Saints. You'd think that Stan Alves, the coach, in his first grand final will be pretty pleased with what they've dished up here, the Saints. They lead 7-11-53 to the Crows, 5-10-40. Few magnets to move at the big major break for Malcolm Blight.
Absolutely. And I just want to point out that there was a Kangaroos fan sitting there. It's been sitting there for the whole year since the 96 grand final.
She's a year early.
But I'll tell you, or a year early or a year late, either or. We've lost a couple more players on the logo there. But, boys, early nominations for Nathaniel's Coffee Goal of the Day so far. We had Barry Hall who tore it up in that quarter. But any goals so far that you think could be the Nathaniel's Coffee Goal of the Day?
I think my early call for Aussie Jones is running down the wing.
Absolutely.
And Barry Hall, another coast-to-coast goal, is a good one as well.
Absolutely. And Paymet SA Player of the Day, or the Norm Smith as well. Who's your early calls for that one, Tugwell?
Well, you'd have to say Andrew McLeod's looking pretty good for the Crows. Although for St Kilda, they are in front. They do deserve the credit. Barry Hall, it's hard to go past him at this stage. Robert Harvey's getting plenty of the footy, but Barry Hall is going to be tough to stop in this second half.
Absolutely. And Trojan Aluminium Mark of the Day as well, Benny Mack, who you got so far?
We haven't had a great deal to pick from so far.
I liked Edwards' attempt.
Almost, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm happy to give it to Edwards on the attempt.
Okay.
Quite frankly,
Yeah.
It
Couple
looked
of touches
the best.
on
It looked the best Mark we'd seen in the 90s, right up until he didn't have the football anymore.
Right.
So I'm happy to pay it as a nearly. But I think Barry Hall took a few good marks leading away from the player in the forward 50.
Unfortunately, no Modra today, so no Mark of the Day from him.
No, that's it.
Well, that's half time here at the MCG, or the Waveville Studios, as I should call them, for the Crowject Grand Final recall, the 1997 Grand Final. We'll be back with the third quarter in just a few moments. Well, welcome back to the MCG, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back for a second half, of the 1997 Grand Final, when we can see the Whitman's chocolate blimp that's just floating around the MCG at the present time. This is Peter Sirocco, and I've got Sam Tugwell, Ben McLean, and Damon Evans, and also Leighton Ashwell with me today. We're 1 minute away from the bounce in the third quarter, but I'll tell you what do you think some of the changes will be for the third quarter, Tuggers?
Well, the Crows need to push back big time. They're down by 13 points at the half. They really struggled at the start with Barry Hall in particular. He was the catalyst. He kicked 3 really fast goals, started on fire, went a little bit cold late, but he was still getting his hands on the footy. For mine, I think down back, they're going to need to find some answers for him. But if you look at the rest of the game, though, they managed to get pretty congested later on. They found a lot of numbers around the footy and slowed it up. So maybe they've got some way of swinging the momentum their way this term.
No, absolutely. I tend to agree there. I think Jamison being off has been very harmful for the Crows defence, really, and need to move something around. As Tuggers said, Hall was really dominating and Heatley running amok really down there. So something needs to be done to stop them, but elsewhere, we're going all right.
The one thing you know about the Crows, and they proved it all through the final series, is that they are one of the fittest teams that have ever played footy, and they've come from behind before. They've come from bigger margins than this, including last week, and they left it till later than they have now too, so there's always hope as Wren gets the ball out, but it's all St Kilda early. As the ball comes out of the centre square up into the St Kilda forward line. Big fly from Caven. Almost pulled it down, but not quite, as it comes down to Hart, nearly at the true fullback position. Puts it out to the pocket there with Edwards. Long sweeping handball out to Caven, who's all patched up after his altercation with Hall, which presumably happened off screen. The young man Goodwin puts it up to the wing. And McLeod, he goes for the fly, but he can't quite bring it down. But he goes in for the tackle late instead, and a smother laid, ineffective. Thought the whistle had blown then. Everyone just seemed to stop like they're in slow motion, but Goodwin didn't, and he's put it straight out onto the forward flank and out of bounds.
Just see there, a few players have had to be touched up in this one. James.
Yeah, Samson looks injured. He's getting strapped up, trying to fight through the pain.
Looks like he was there at quarter time as well with a bit of ice. So
shout out to our sponsors, Paymet SA.
To be coming back here as Robert looks to get his kick away, was smothered. Connell back to Robert, sends it inside 50. It's going to be cut off here by Thompson playing in the back line. He's matched up on Jarman.
He's not happy with that delivery.
Maybe a little bit rushed as well from the Crows. Got the jitters after the half-time break. Big punch from behind. They're flying into the pack, and it's going to bounce out of bounds here. Burke sees it over. St Kilda here with this 13-point lead. Going to need to cut into this early here, the Crows.
Absolutely. So we're looking to get a few early goals here, get a bit of the momentum. We'll see how we go as Wren gets a tap forward to the front of the pack to McLeod, but he's set upon instantly. Drops it and held on to for a long time, and now we're at the bottom of the pack here, and we'll have another ball up just outside the forward 50.
Bit of a stalemate at the present time, I reckon.
It is, as we see. Jamison hobbling along.
Cuts a forlorn figure walking down the MCG boundary line.
So balled up again just outside the forward 50, and Wren goes at Cook again. Cook wins it this time and smacks it forward, but only as far as Smart, who picks it up. He wheels around on the right boot towards forward 50, where he has got Rintoul sitting alone. Can't take the mark. Cook gets a handball and probably dropped there by his teammate. We've got Burke, who picks it up and handballs forward as far as Jones, who was on fire in the first half. He can't quite get a hold of it that time, and it goes out of bounds again.
That bloke there in the AFL tracksuit did not want to touch that footy. No. Looked like he was listening to Nicholas Spurious' advice about not touching the ball if it comes out of play.
He was definitely the emergency umpire.
Wren goes long over the top, but only to Burke, who puts it straight up and under. Big old rugby union box kick there. Oh, but he's away to it.
And he's taken high.
Yes, he's Bond. The only man there that looked like he was hunting the footy. The other bloke was looking for a bit of a scalp. Now, Bond, this is probably, I would say, right on his range here. It's going to take a good old effort for him to get it closer. As we see the contest there.
Bit of a slap in the face, literally and figuratively.
We're thinking of your cream wherever you are. As Bond comes in, a few steps. It's not a bad roost, actually. He gets a bit behind it.
Beautiful.
Is it over the post? No.
No, straight through the eye-diddle-diddle, and it's a great goal from Bond. Much needed from the Crows as the fans rejoice at home and at the MCG.
Back to 7 points. Leading goal kicker of the game now, Troy Bond. 3 goals, 1 in each quarter. And the Crows, they needed to cut back into that lead of St Kilda as they took into the break. It could have been 3 goals. They missed on the final kick of the half. And now they strike first blood in the first couple of minutes.
I reckon it would have been 50 metres anyway. I reckon Peckett came over the mark as well. He came well forward during that attempt by Bond.
So, can they keep this ascendancy going? Harvey, little kick away from goal. He's going to have to find a way to bring this one back. It's Zilla, who he found, chased it down well. Kick around the body wasn't great. Didn't know where to go. Had Wren. And a soccer forward toward forward 50. Brown caught brilliantly. Great tackle from behind the Crows. Cook and Goodwin on the ground as they ball it up. 60 from St Kilda goal. Some desperation starting to be shown in the premiership quarter.
Excellent tackle by Brett James there on Tony Brown.
Absolutely. An interesting stat we can see there on the screen. 8-2 to 3-0 in third quarter in finals for St Kilda. Not much happening here in the contest. Goodwin looking to pick it up but can't do so. McLeod out the back.
What a
handball to
shot.
James.
What a handball.
Lovely handball, and it gets to Edwards, who puts it forward to a pack there where Bickley can't quite get his hands onto it. It's punched away towards Shanahan, who gets a handball to Harvey. Harvey with his own lovely kick towards 50, and Winmar's all by himself. He's about 60 up from goal here as he looks for a target inside. Heatley all by himself. But Winmar wants to do up his shoelaces here.
Mike's gone all the way with the face paint.
I thought that was a tattoo.
May well be.
So Winmar just pops it to the hot spot there, and Stewie Lowe takes the mark in front of Pittman.
Strong hands.
And he'll have a shot about 30 metres out on quite a tight angle here. But he'll look to extend that lead back out to 13 points here. 5 minutes into this third quarter.
Yet to assert himself on this game. No goals scored for Stewie Lowe, but after a 90-goal season last year, 50 goals this year, second highest goal scorer for the team. He's really going to need to get into this game, I think, if the Saints want to win.
Real captain's goal looking here, and a couple more kangaroo scarves hanging over the fence, which is interesting. They trying to put him off, or are they supporting him? Who knows?
Are they a year early or a year late?
Probably trying to get vengeance from the prelim.
Very tight angle. He's taking his time.
So a very interesting hold of the ball there as well, with a bit of an angle.
Brendan Vola had a similar grip toward the end of his career, and it worked for him.
Did. So Lowe comes in, and it looks like he's kicked a goal. St Kilda extend the lead back out to 13 points again, and that goal from the Crows is amounted to nothing, really.
And they've cut to Moorabbin Oval, I think, and there was a child just holding up a sign
The wrong way.
the wrong way.
As we look at Peter McKenna sitting up in the stands, maybe with the spider cam looking camera there.
I'll tell you what, Pittman was completely lost on that lead there. You can watch him tracking the bloke, but he's just left that too much separation. And as he cuts in front of him, there's nothing he can do apart from hope to spoil or chop the arms. This day and age, that probably would have been close to a free for chop of the arms, I would have thought, but Pittman was just lost on that lead.
It needs to be all over him like poo on a blanket.
Yes. As I try to recover, Goodwin picks up the footy, gets it out to Johnson, who puts it straight through the middle to
Beautiful by
Jarman,
Jarman.
who puts it straight out to Smart, who just can't get his grips onto the ball. Rintoul goes down late. Can't quite see what that was for. Happens off screen, but the umpire says nothing doing. Off you go, St Kilda. As they put it straight back out onto the big logo there on the wing. Few competing for it, but no one winning it. Goodwin picks it straight up off the deck. Puts it up to Kim Costa, who puts it straight out
To Rintoul.
to the magnificent Rintoul. Smart's on a lead, but he's ignored. Oh, he's cutting back. Rintoul puts it to his advantage. Does it?
It's bounced
Is it
through.
touched? No! An absolute goal from the square middle of nowhere there from Rintoul. Looked for all money like it was touched. But geez, tell you what, Sam Tugwell, the Crows absolutely needed that.
Well, they've cut it back again to that 7-point differential. That was such a great goal. I don't think he was looking for the goals, but he got a bit of a fortunate bounce here. Take a look at the replay late and see where it's gone.
It's not quite touched by the St Kilda defender. Good umpiring, and the two first-year players in Goodwood and Rintoul both have goals.
So impressive start now. Crows 2-1 to start the third quarter. And they're staying in this contest. Johnson just almost lost it there. Tried to handball, caught up in the tackle there. I think it's Bickley, the captain of the Crows, appointed for the first time at the start of the 97 season. And he's led his team to a grand final. Can he get them to the promised land of a premiership? They're only 2 quarters away. And they're down by 7. Big punch away from Cook. Great punch, in fact, for his team. Running through from defence was brilliant there from James. Now Johnson with McLeod. They run well through the middle. Kick inside 50 to the hot spot. There's Smart. Over his head again. Won't bounce the same as the last time. In toward the goal square. Jarman's there, but Shanahan's better. And punches over for another rush behind. 53 plays 59. It's now one straight kick the difference.
Good spoil there by Shanahan.
Oh, here's some video analysis.
Here's some video analysis. Yes, that is a player.
Well, I hope they
yes,
draw on
he
the
is
screen
kicked.
again.
Here we go. And you can see here that there is a player who should be here, but he's not.
That's the empty space.
That's the empty space. And I'll tell you what, he had a paddock in front of him. He had a pagan paddock in front of him. He didn't do it. Anyway, the Saints are on the break.
They're on the break here, and it's Hudson streaking towards their 50. He makes it almost all the way to 50. Bombs it long towards Winmar and Hall can't quite take a mark. He grabs it out of the air and handles it straight into Tyson Edwards and over the line for a throw-in.
Interesting to note there, Caven back on Barry Hall after the second quarter got absolutely pulled apart. So a lot of confidence being put back into his defender in Caven.
To his credit, he has been quieter this quarter. Barry Hall has.
Very limited opportunity, but yes, he has been quieter as Lowe kicks it out of the air towards that man Hall again. Almost going to roll through, but Pittman sees it over the line there, and it'll be one behind to St Kilda, who take a 7-point lead. 9.5, almost 10 minutes gone in this third quarter here. And Ben Hartz looks to kick in. He goes short to Kane Johnson, who takes a mark. He kicks it just outside 50 towards Shane Ellen, but it's spoiled there by Keogh. Keogh picks it up and handballs towards the forward 50 where Harvey's waiting just outside. Bombs it in towards Barry Hall with Caven again, but Caven gets his hand to it this time and pops it over the line for another throw-in.
Caven doing the good defender thing there, being in the right place at the right time. Park yourself under the footy and make a contest.
It's usually a good thing for a defender, isn't it?
I would have thought so, yes. If I was coaching defenders, that would be one of the first or second things I tell them to do. As the Rucks go at it again, McLeod with the third man up. As he goes straight back over the bench.
Connell has crushed a camera woman.
And there goes the Sigma telephoto lens. That's about 15 grand right there.
And about 15 kilos by the looks of it.
You can absolutely expect
Oh,
Connell
here's
to
a
get
slow-mo. And for dunk.
Tries to protect the camera, but both got injured.
All the 36 exposures in that film at Gonski.
That'll be Connell's best hit of the day, I reckon.
Except for the one on him earlier in the game.
As James goes in,
He really cannoned into it.
it's getting late in the call, ladies and gentlemen, and we're starting to get a little bit rowdy.
But it's a close game.
Let's see if the Crows can collect some composure that we have lost up here in the commentary box. As Caven roves in the ruck tap, but Hall is hot on his heels, but Caven keeps his composure very well. Hall takes him without the footy, but Goodwin gets it on the boot, puts it up to the Magma sign, in amongst a bunch of North Melbourne fans who, again, we cannot tell if they're time travelling or late.
We're at 60 metre mark of on the Great Southern Stand, right near the boundary.
How early did they buy the grand final tickets? Because they finished 7th.
Too early, Leighton.
So here's Low, the target inside 50. Caven comes through with a big fist from behind. Good 2-on-1 action.
Beautiful there.
Bursting through James. Brilliant work. The right boot. Trying to find Rintoul, I think it was. Bickley finds the boot to ball inside 50 here. Jarman, 1-on-1 with Shanahan. And Nigel Smart brought down to the pocket. Shanahan's going to find a way to get out of trouble, and the Saints looked real dangerous there for the Crows for a moment. Is it out on the full here? It is. And the Crows will get to go back inside 50. They moved that so quickly. They've done that many times now this game. The Saints that time, though, good answers in defence. O'Connell, good mark, bouncing off the chest. Got the second bite of the cherry. Down by 13 points. And 7 points, rather. Flying back in defence there, 2-on-1, the Saints. They're going to reload once more. Edwards, short kick to the top of the 50. James, who started it all, might get a little shot if he's confident enough to go all the way back from 55 metres.
Tell you what, Brian Sheen today as the umpire is having an absolute mare. Just going to say.
To bring it back to 1 point, the difference in the 97 grand final. The Crows need this. It's not getting at the distance. But can you believe it? Just sitting at the back, uncontested, Shane Ellen.
He was hiding with the fans and did not get marked on by
He had a North Guernsey on.
St Kilda certainly didn't expect him to be there.
My goodness.
He's going to kick his third goal from point blank range. The Crows are back in this game, a 1 point difference. They're third for the term, and they're coming hard.
My goodness, that was amazing from Shane Ellen. Just hanging around the back, and yes, it is the 1997 grand final here on the Crowject recall.
Yeah, they spent a lot on that graphic. You got to make the most of it.
And the Kabumski as well looked a bit command and conquer to me. But Benny Mac, it's 11 minutes. 11 minutes left.
There he is, and we've balled it up in the middle here. Daniels can't get it away. He gets it to Burke, who pops it on the boot, but only as far as McLeod. McLeod takes the bounce towards the 50. He's been brilliant today.
Beautiful.
Handballs over the corner. He gets a nice hip and shoulder there. Daniels picks it up, and they get it out of foot back 50, St Kilda. Here goes Hudson walking out of the back 50. He takes 3 bounces, 4. Handballs over the top now to Aussie Jones. He's been everywhere. He gets it to Hall, who gives a nice clip there from Caven. And Wren takes a tackle on Peckett. Hall picks it back up and handballs to Harvey. Harvey handballs over the top now. It's Lappin there. He wheels around on the left and puts it in towards 50. There's a nice contest brewing here. And Goodwin takes a big mark. That looks like a Trojan aluminium mark of the day. And he goes forward towards Bond, who with a paddock in front of him on centre wing. He takes 2 bounces and puts it inside 50 to Nigel Smart. He gets on his right boot and pops it into the pocket to Darren Jarman, who takes his first mark of the day. And he'll go back to put the Crows in front, just like he did 7 days ago.
He's enjoying his day, that man.
Jarman has been very quiet today, and Blighty's moving up forward. Will it pay off?
It's a good move. The guy can kick goals.
Yeah, just pulled out a wedgie as well. Just going to call that one. That was
I thought we were just going to leave that unsaid, Pete.
No, it's there. And tell you what, beautiful passage of play there as well. You can see Jarman just eyes for the ball, looks to his left, says, nah, I got this one, and just takes it in the bread basket. And Jamie Shanahan says Shanahan as well.
He has kicked a goal. The Crows are in front. We lead 9 goals, I think. We're up to 65. St Kilda sitting at 60. 9-11, 65 to 8-12, 60 on the Trojan aluminium scoreboard. 9.5 minutes to go in the third.
Some good quick maths there from you, Mr. McLean. As Jarman, another good North Adelaide product. Bob's up. No, it's him and Hart. I'm going to milk it for as much as I can, Leighton. Don't complain. But Jarman going down forward could be a bit of a difference for the Crows. They did need someone just to change the complexion of the forward line, and Lord knows he could be it. The umpire puts the ball back up. Wren, all on his own, just thumps it forward, says, go get it. As Harvey takes a massive bump from McLeod. What a hit. What a hit, son, as Johnson wraps it up down there on the deck. I really hope we get to see that again. There's a bit of a kilo difference between Harvey and McLeod, but McLeod did not care. Look at this. Harvey rides it.
Good night.
Good to get the handball out there, actually. Harvey just shows his skill and experience there. A few heads getting caught up in tackles there. Oh, well done, Kim Costa, throwing himself through the contest. Crows playing with a lot of intensity and effort here now as he gets trapped up across the flank. Aussie Jones has looked less dangerous. He's had to do more defending this quarter as Robrin lays a magnificent tackle. Umpire, no reward. Costa comes in to resume his battle with Aussie Jones. St Kilda players just willing the ball out of there. Goes for a run up the wing, puts it straight up. Magnificent kick. There's another look, puts it straight up towards St Kilda's forward line. Not a lot going, but Hall is in the vicinity. Great handball looking back into Winmar. It's a foot. Oh, no! It was about to be a foot race between the ruckman and Winmar, but I'll tell you what, James just put himself in exactly the right spot and managed to kill the contest there. That looked like a short goal from St Kilda coming up, Sam Tugwell.
So, Heatley now from a long way out. It's going to have to spot up an option. Daniels is leading. Stopped up, bit too late. Here's low, middle of the pack. Great mark. Expect the tallest man to take the mark, and Sean Wren was that. Kicks backwards, finds Ben Hart, and a little bit of composure required here for the Crows. It was just getting a little bit too quick up forward there. And the Saints are going to keep pushing, but the Crows have had a very dominant start to this second half. 4-1. Wren sends it up the member's wing, flying up the back there was Rintoul. Couldn't quite control it. Robran using his feet as well. Umpire's blown the whistle. And we'll have a ball up in front of the interchange gates.
Almost seems like fitness is starting to play into it. I tell you what, St Kilda are starting to look flat on their feet. What do you reckon, Leighton?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of pressure from the Crows boys, and they've just turned it on in the premiership quarter.
Leading by 5 points in their first lead since very early in the second quarter. Again, Wren trying to get his boot to it.
Is that out on the full?
It has been. Good call there from Leighton. The Crows will get themselves the footy back halfway down the ground.
So Kim Costa in front of those bottles of Cotty's cordial by the look of it there on the ground.
Looks like piss jugs.
He pops it forward towards the forward 50 and we make it contest. Rintoul pops it on his left boot. He doesn't have one. Look at that, but he finds Shane Ellen. Ellen made that kick look good. And he'll go back from just outside 50 and look to extend the lead for the Crows here. It will take one heck of a kick.
While he's lining up, it's amazing to think, with all the defensive issues the Crows have had today, with Hall getting on top and a certain other few taller St Kilda players, they've held firm on holding Ellen at full forward.
Absolutely.
And with Jamison going down.
And with Jamison going down. It would have been any other coach in the league would have gone, go back to your native position of full-back, mate, off you go. But no, he's held firm.
So Shane Ellen lines up, just crosses towards the 50, and he roosts it, and it's a straight kick.
Big kick.
And he's got it. The Crows lead by 11 points now. 20 minutes into the third quarter here, and they are rolling along just nicely, and don't the Convention Centre love it? And so does that bloke as well.
I tell you what, Jason Daniels coming by to give some wise words to Shane Ellen. I think Shane Ellen turned around and says, at least my name doesn't have a Y in it. So, tell you what, it was just a beautiful kick from Shane Ellen as well, just outside the 50, just was able to roost that one. Not much wind down at the ground here as well. I'm not down there. I'm actually 800 kilometres away. But I tell you what, it is turning into a beautiful third quarter. Crows up by 11.
Yes, they are. Well called there from you, Pete. I wasn't expecting the weather, but we got it anyway. As the Rucks go at it, it is absolutely pinballing around. Harvey, one of the bravest men in football, just stands his ground as everyone comes at him. It is caught up and wrapped up in another rugby union maul down there on the deck. Harvey looks like he's feeling it a little bit. He's put his body through some torment.
He got clipped in the head just before.
And he's absolutely copping a bruising from the Crows midfielders this quarter. The Crows saying, sorry, mate, we know you've got a Brownlow, but you're not walking away with a premiership medallion. Not today, as Robran goes up into the ruck. Harvey gets wrapped up again. And I think it might have been McLeod again that lays in the hard hit. But they managed to get it through the helmeted Burke up to the wing, but only as far as James puts it back into the middle too. The ruckman in Wren. Now, what's he going to do? We don't want to see him handball it, but we also don't want to see him kick it. McLeod would love to see him kick it to him, but nothing doing. Takes his time.
Tackle.
Absolutely takes his time. 11 points up. He knows they don't need to rush it. So he just puts it on the boot to a one-on-one. Fantastic one-on-one. That was anything but pathetic by Pittman.
That's a nomination for the Trojan Aluminium Mark of the Day right there.
Absolutely, write it down. But let's see what Pittman's got on offer. He's got the Mercurial Jarman on a bit of a lead. Let's see if he puts it out to him. Puts it up to the goal square. It's a 2-on-1. Who's out the back here? No. Surely not. What? Surely not. Another defender. Another defender pops up and writes his name into the record. Sam Tugwell, you've got him written down for his first score of the day. What did you think of it?
Unbelievable. Who would have thought so many defenders flying forward to take marks and kick goals? And this time now, Peter Caven bringing Barry Hall up the ground, playing off, and then kicking one. A big floater. Didn't matter how it looked. It only mattered about the result.
Had some words there to Max Hudson too. Just says, I've kicked the goal, you haven't. Ha ha ha. So, I'll tell you what, here's a nomination for Nathaniel's Coffee Goal of the Day.
So they've broken it out to a 17-point lead, 30-point turnaround in this third quarter. Unbelievable from the Crows. And the Saints look stunned. Into red time in this third quarter. They call it the premiership term for a reason. The Crows have been outstanding, 6 goals to 1. And Stan Alves with a little bit of thinking to do at the final break, not far away. Bounce down, missed by everybody. Harvey clears the ball away to half forward for the Saints. Big punch from Pittman. Bouncing footy toward the wing. Cripps caught brilliantly. Rintoul, fantastic. But it still finds the Brownlow medalist. Harvey just kicks around the body, looking toward the boundary line. Almost kept in by Neal, but it goes over. And the Saints are going to need some answers here. And they'd really like one late in this term to stem the flow.
Good pressure there by Ben Hart as well on Neal. Beautiful.
So balled in here, a nice contest between Cook and Wren. It spills out to Kim Costa, who's tackled by Jones. He's been a magnet on him today, but he held him. He got paid holding the ball. And Thompson bombs it inside 50 for St Kilda, but only as far as the boundary line.
Again, not watching the video analysis, goes out of bounds on the full.
He's followed the first 2 kicks, and he's just kicked it in the same spot.
Very bendy arrow there, I think.
It was. So Caven will take the kick in from next to the behind post. He just launches it just outside 50 where Wren sits nicely. McLeod over the top. Another Trojan aluminium mark of the day contender there. And Kane Johnson bursts away from the pack. He goes left, right, gets the handball to James. Pops it on the boot towards the forward 50 for the Crows where Jarman waits. He takes a wonderful mark. Another Trojan aluminium mark of the day contender. And Jarman will pop it on the right boot inside forward 50 to an empty square. Will this one bounce through? No, it'll go towards the boundary line. Picked up by Smart, who can't. He does keep it in. Gets it to Bond. Bond in a contest there with Hudson, and they can't keep it in. And we'll have a ball in just around from the Crows' goal here. 23 minutes into the quarter. Adelaide leads 77, St Kilda 60. And Peter McKenna sharing some wisdom. Robin taps it down from this contest almost to McLeod, but he overruns it. It comes there to Goodwin, who's tackled. And we'll have another ball up.
It's a ball up and exactly where Adelaide would like to keep the ball at the moment. Bickley having a bit of word with the umpire. He likes the new captain responsibilities. Gets to say things to the man in white that otherwise he would not have been able to. Ball goes bouncing up. Robin into the ruck. For the Crows, McLeod hunting, he's lurking. That turn that he has back to Rodbren, who just puts it straight out to Nathan Burke, captain of St Kilda, who puts it up onto the wing as Ellen competes. Ran in a bit of a tussle there. He's able to lock it up with his conspiring ruckman and Pittman. And they're able to keep the ball locked in.
St Kilda just can't get any clean hand on the footy, and Crows are killing them with the transition.
A few fantastic facial tattoos there in the crowd. St Kilda.
Yeah, definitely tattoos.
Definitely. Commitment to your team, Leighton. It's a powerful thing. Harvey just absolutely laces it out into the forward 50 after going for a run. But Edwards is wise to Winmar. Oh no, he's not. He lets it behind for him. Winmar puts it on the boot and kicks an absolute fantastic goal. Up there for a contender for goal of the day. Thanks to Nathaniel's coffee.
Very important goal there for St Kilda. Brings the margin back to 11 points with 2.5 minutes to go.
You can't write off a champion, and an outstanding piece of play there. X-factor play from Winmar. Pete, that's just one of the great goals.
Absolutely, and be carrying a heavy heart today. I only found out yesterday his father passed away, so will be all sorts of emotions running through his head, but they're right in the thick of it today. That's for sure. As we cut to the Whitman sampler blimp as well.
Two-time.
Crows are up by 11 points.
So bounce down. You get late into the third quarter. Johnson was chasing but beaten by the Saints. Here comes Neal, who just sockers forward, but it's going to be rebounded straight back out of there toward the benches. May see a throw in, but players coming after it. Wakeland does chase, but doesn't have the stopping capacity in time. As we just tick over 26 minutes in this third quarter. Fun to see how this last quarter plays out. You couldn't ask for much more. A tight grand final. Wakeland tries to hold on to it himself. Burke, little handball to Harvey. They've connected so many times today. Good kick and great hands by the Cook, the ruckman for the Saints. As he looks ahead, what's he got in front of him? He needs one to present. He's got Barry Hall. He's been looked at so many times today.
What a mark.
A Trojan aluminium, great mark of the day for the Saints.
One-hander.
And Barry Hall, who was the key to St Kilda's burst in the second term. Well, this is such a critical time for him.
Look at that, just the absolute size and power of the man just to be able to keep Caven, who's no slouch.
Absolutely.
Very good defender, just keeps him that little bit at arm's length.
Good separation
Well,
there too.
3 for the day. Barry Hawley's team needs this in a grand final. Long up and under kick. It's not quite got the distance. Harvey brought down in the goal square. Low around the body. Again doesn't have the distance. From only 10 out. And Edwards sees it over. Pressure from the Crows. Fantastic effort late in the third.
It was good to see Shane Allen attempt to do the fist out of the goal square there and just almost put it straight into a St Kilda player. That's why he's playing up forward.
Absolutely. So Stewie Lowe almost takes it out of the ruck, but Wren, he handballs it over his head, somehow kicked almost as far as a kick, and Hudson taken over the line there for another boundary throw in.
Only 1 minute left in the third quarter. Crows will not want to concede one after dominating this term.
No, and some nervous fans watching on at the moment. Ran up against Lowe here. Lowe takes it out, but he's tackled straight away, surely holding the ball, but apparently not. And we'll have another ball up. Looked to me like Lowe took it out of the ruck, but the umpire didn't see it that way.
She ain't not seeing much today.
So Lowe and Ren will go at it again with a bounce in the middle of the forward 50 for the Saints. We got 40 seconds. It comes down to Caven. He can't get a clean kick away, and it sits at the bottom of the pack, and you guessed it, we have another ball up.
This is working for the Crows, though. They don't want the ball out in space. They just need to tie it up, hold it up for the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, we'd be roughly
After the
about
quarter.
that. So we have another bounce. Lowe and Wren go at it again. Wren gets a clean tap this time to Johnson. Doesn't get it very far, but he gets the ball back to Caven. His kick smothered. Out to Lappin, who puts it on his right boot, and he's kicked it. Goal, I think. No.
Yeah, touch.
Touched on the line there by Barry Hall and
What was he
Caven.
doing?
Who knows?
They're trying to shepherd Pittman across the line, but it ended up falling on him.
The long sleeves man-child has somehow kicked her.
And at the Crowject, we like to say that only one man can wear long sleeves per team.
As we go to the goal post, Cam.
Yep, running off 12D batteries, that one.
Rarely used, and probably for a good reason. As Ben Hart inherits the kick-in duties for the Crows, puts it out to the true flank position as the siren goes in what has been an absolutely electrifying quarter. Necessary for the Crows, you'd have to say, to keep into this game. They've been able to peg back the lead beautifully with some very strong inputs from that man just leaving screen there. As we see, it was Hall. It was definitely Hall, I think, that touched that over the line.
It didn't look like he was shepherding at all, and unfortunately there for St Kilda, that's a massive goal gone missing late in the quarter where they needed to get this margin into single digits.
Absolutely, as the great Messiah, the great master coach comes out. He's got a few things to think about. He must like what he sees. Certainly Stan Elves has probably got more to think about, more that he needs to burn from his players as we head into the final change.
Yeah, this is going to be a fourth quarter for the ages. You've got to think about what Malcolm Blight's going to say. He's been to multiple losing grand finals, so you've got to think about his approach for this one as well. It's the Crows by 10 points. Welcome back to the Crowject podcast, 1997 Grand Final recall, and we're at three-quarter time. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's looking like a very close one here. Only 10 points in it with the Crows up after a helter-skelter third quarter. Sam Tugwell's with me on the call as well. Sam, what were your thoughts on the game so far, mate?
Well, unbelievable when you think that the 6-goal-2 quarter, the third term, so important from the Crows, and they needed to fight back against the Saints, who had such a good second quarter. Barry Hall was brilliant. He was nullified once again in that third quarter, but amazing. 3 of the 6 goals were kicked by defenders. Ellen again with another 2,
Yeah, exactly.
and then one from Caven, which was out of the blue. It was just such a bizarre way of the Crows attacking goal and finding a way to fight in front in a grand final.
And Benny Mack, your thoughts on the game so far and your thoughts on that third quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like we're playing the old mini league rules where, you know, defense one quarter, you go forward the next quarter. And that seems to be where all our goals are coming from at the moment. So it was a good fight back in that quarter to really get the ascendancy of the game back again. And hopefully we can continue on with it in this last quarter.
Amen. And Damon, your thoughts on the game so far and your thoughts on some of the crowd shots that you've seen too.
The tattoos.
The crowd are enthusiastic and I love it, especially the era that we're looking at. We're talking about a lot of bandanas, a lot of flat caps before they became popular again, a lot of white graphic printed T-shirts, which
Yes.
I always enjoy, and a lot of face paint, which is fantastic. But we're starting to see the Crows become the fitter of the two teams and
Yes.
just starting to work their way to the top. As we see the stats here, you can see Adelaide 11 goals, 11.77 to 9 goals, 13.67. Incredibly accurate from the Crows in that last quarter. The Whitman's chocolates. Pete, you were talking about Whitman's chocolates before, and none of us could remember what they were.
Yeah, it's the added version of Hags. Shout out if you want to sponsor us, Whitman's. Don't know if you're around anymore. Anyway, it's going to be a hell of a fourth quarter. It was a hell of a third quarter. Over to Sam Tugwell on the call, my man.
Well, this is as good as it gets. The final term of a grand final. We're separated by 10 points. The Crows in their first ever grand final. Can they take home the Premiership Cup? They'd love to do so. Ounce to get us underway. And 30 minutes of football as Wren punches forward toward Robran and clearing away here from the Saints. The first clearance of the quarter. And nice mark, Keogh. Strong hands. He's been good today. He's got himself a goal. He's got Barry Hall leading up forward, who's got a handful already. Bouncing over the heads of Hall. Here comes Hall again in the pocket. Can he control it? Not quite. Caven's been brilliant in this second half on him. After a bit of a dismal second term, he's redeemed himself well. And the Saints start with a rush behind. 9 points the difference.
Yeah, Caven with the old male Michael, just a rush goal.
That's it.
Kicking that one through, but Barry Butterfingers Hall not able to get onto that one.
Yeah, it's Caven's second goal at that end of the ground today.
Oh, the camera's back.
Yes.
The
What are
goalpost
they
cam.
Can see if he steps on the line here. Oh, it's close.
Just
So Hart clears it outside the back 50 for the Crows, and it's punched towards the boundary line, but picked up by Keogh, and he can't keep it in quite. And we'll go out for a boundary throw, and just outside the St Kilda forward 50. An interesting contest brewing here. Some important few minutes here. So Johnson over the top gets it down, and I think he retrieved his own ball and probably held without it there for a little bit. Umpire didn't see it that way, and Harvey gets the ball towards the 50. He drops it. James and Connell throws it on the boot, but only as far as Aussie Jones, the man who has been absolutely everywhere. And on a rare occasion, he's away from Kim Costa here. He pops it up towards the forward 50 for St Kilda, and Barry Hall's there again, but he can't get it as Ellen flies over the top with a Trojan Aluminium Mark of the Day contender.
Ellen back home where he belongs, down back after doing an absolutely more than admirable job of full forward. What's this free kick here taken away from the footy? Something tells me that was just as much a slip as it was interference.
Yeah, it's very
But that's
unlucky
okay,
for
we'll
St
take it.
Kilda. Very unlucky call on
Rintoul's
St Kilda.
looking up, Rod. No, sorry, that was
Rintoul.
Rintoul. Puts it up to a contest. Caven coming out of centre half back trying to make an effect, but can't. St Kilda look to work the wall away with Hart. Very good effort there. Puts it out to the wing, up to the true flank position. No mark there.
spoil
Wren
there.
able to spoil over the top.
Caven seems to be following Barry Hall wherever he goes. That's how he got a sneaky goal last quarter, because Barry Hall's just running up the pitch.
Well, it's a good tactic because, as we know, Caven is a very good footballer and he's good in different positions.
Yes.
Has played in a myriad of positions across the myriad of clubs that he has played for. McLeod at the front of the pack, can't quite get to it. Harvey just runs past it, comes back to Wren somehow.
Beautiful.
Puts it out to, I think it was Rintoul who puts it straight up to,
beautiful
well
mark.
done. The great man, Robran, the man with the famous father, North Adelaide. Product, as I'm sure you're all aware, McLeod in the
Here he
centre,
goes.
puts it up to the top of the 50. Can he? No, he can't. Absolutely cannot. Taken there. Great goal line mark there by the captain in low. Puts it out to his co-captain in Burke. Out to the man who's had a lot of the football today in Peckett.
Good pressure there from McLeod.
Can't quite get to it, but very nearly as the contest goes up. Winmar on the wing.
Oh, good
smothered.
smother.
Absolutely brilliantly smothered by a not so pathetic Pittman.
So Crown happy with what they're seeing. The intensity has risen. First couple of minutes of the last term. Just what you expect from two tough teams battling it out for a flag. Here's Harvey. Bit of time. Dodges around a few. Kicks up toward the top of the 50 and a great mark there from Caven. Just waited under it nicely. And plays on immediately as he gets up. Hall not quick enough to keep up. Long kick. Was he fended off? He was. Cripps a bit upset with that. Don't think there was much in it either. Rintoul now with a couple of free kicks. Pretty soft in a row. Takes a bounce quickly. Centres the ball nicely. Top of the square. Who's he got? Jarman just through his fingers. He's got a free kick.
Oh, he has.
Oh, he's got it. Not sure where that's come from. The umpires have gifted a couple of freebies to the Crows, and they'll be pleased about it.
I'll tell you what, Chad Rintoul's got the Oscar nomination for that free kick before, but...
yeah, first he did a slip over, got a free kick, and now he just plucked one out of thin air. So
The
did
old slip
Jarman.
over. The old fall down under the footy trick, Leighton.
A slight little grab of the jumper,
Yeah,
but
just
not
a
much in it.
It's a good appeal.
Fingerful more than a fistful, if anything, there. As Jarman lines up, he's got one already, two behinds. He needs to kick straight. Such a crucial moment in the fourth quarter. Jarman lines up and kicks truly. The Crows now take it out of 15 points.
My goodness. Well, you can say what you want about the umpires, and I sure do. But Jarman, I'll tell you what, it was the last grab there. That's the thing, and that's what the umpires saw. You can see some of this lead up action, back and forth. Round we go.
Send him to the
Oh, there
candy
it
shop.
is.
Yeah.
There was the hold, though. As soon as the jumper comes out from the body, they have to call it.
Shanahan and all sorts, getting a bit dizzy there.
And St Kilda will be worried now. They'd wanted to eat into that margin quickly, but they haven't been able to do so. And John with the late goal.
So back into the middle here. The Crows lead by 15 points 5 minutes into this last quarter. We'll see what happens from here as Wren goes up against Cook, and Cook pops it down to Burke. Burke gets it down to Harvey here. He pops it on his left boot into the forward 50 where a pack flies. Ben Hart out the back, paddles it in front of him, and he gets it to the boundary line.
In front of the old PlayStation logo signage. Oh, nostalgia's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I've got a mate of mine that can chip one for $30 and get you all the burnt games you want.
Even AFL 97.
Hell yeah. Anyway, back to the action.
So Stewie Lowe pops it down to Burke, who slaps it on his right boot, and he's kicked a goal.
Wow.
He has kicked a goal from nothing there, and St Kilda bring it back to a 9-point margin. And this game isn't over just yet.
That is a captain's goal. Much needed response from St Kilda.
The St Kilda faithful up and about there after that, when it was looking like the Crows were just going to run away with it a bit. But a lovely tap from Lowe there, straight to Burke, who popped it on his boot, and straight through the middle, no problems. And isn't he happy about it?
Oh, he's celebrating. Under that helmet, he is celebrating.
Yeah, Pittman not happy because he forgot to change his boots again. It's the 5th time he slipped over today.
As the ball goes up, the two big men go at it. Wren falls straight to the ground. Hopefully he gets back up again. Jarman in the thick of it. Out to Brown, who puts it a long, heaving kick.
Good spot.
Yeah, great work by Ellen, who again seems to have gone back to his true home down back.
Yes.
Thompson.
Ball
just,
stayed in.
Look at that, manages to keep it in. But Wren is parked under a courageous effort there. Oh, Costa just thinks, I'll just go lay down in someone's back here. As Goodwin puts it out, raking left foot, manages to just get it into the centre square, but it's coming back. Big Rod Keogh picks it up on the true wing and puts it into the forward 50. Intercept mark.
Beautiful.
Superb there by Wren. Truly one of the great big men playing the game. And it's good to see him playing without the knee brace. That knee injury was so nearly ended his career not too long ago. McLeod parked under it. Can't quite make the most of it. And St Kilda work it into the 50 again. And it's a fantastic mark, it has to be said, by David Serakovsky. All on his own. You got to wonder how he managed to find that much space as he looks around. I don't think he looks too confident. He wants to move this ball on quickly. And he absolutely hacks it. Or does he? Oh, it was nearly brilliant. He nearly spun gold out of nothing. And the Crows managed to survive an absolute scare there. Serakovsky, I don't know how he managed to find that much space in the forward line, but he did. And the Crows need to make them pay after that effort.
Choices like that, the sliding doors in a grand final.
Keogh absolutely potatoed that mark. Just watch this one. He just goes up for this one, and I don't know what was going on there in the brain department.
Maybe tunneled him a little bit as well there, Connell, but nonetheless, as it goes inside 50, Serakovsky again was under the footy, but Caven wins out. He's having a stellar second half, and now he just runs it out of defence. Couple of bounces and a bit of a help there from the defence of the Crows. Kicks up toward Costa. He has to touch it to himself here. Nice bit of control from the Crows, kicking up toward Darren Jarman once again. Leading out from the pocket, and once more, the Crows will have another set shot from their pocket.
Great running again from half-back, and you almost never see Costa kick on the left foot. No. He delivered it perfectly to Jarman. That tight angle here.
Something tells me Jarman's going to let his direct opponent know all about that too, because that's the first time he's ever seen Costa kick it on the left foot.
So kicked one a few moments ago for the Crows to give him a 15-point lead. He can do it all over again here at the punt road end of the MCG. He's got three, Darren Jarman. Nice kick once again, great execution. And the Crows with that lightning defensive 50 transition up forward get themselves out to a nice little 15-point buffer once more.
And Darren Jarman going over to say thanks to Kim Costa for kicking that one to him. Probably thought that was a 1 in 100 kick from him. And you can see Caven just streaking away as well. And good shepherd there from Ben Hart. He didn't really do anything actually.
Loves a blimp shot. It's a great blimp shot here.
Yeah. Peckett as well, just running out of gas.
What a
and
kick.
Jarman leading up to. Fantastic.
So back in the middle here, the Crows by 15 points. Wren smacks it straight up in the air down to that man Jarman, who gets to McLeod. McLeod handballs to Johnson, who kicks it inside 50 there, but Shanahan's waiting for it. And he takes an easy mark there in the chest as he looks to settle the Saints down. So the Crows lead by 15 points. Shanahan out to Harvey there. He takes a mark just inside the Crows forward 50 and he pops it out to Peckett on the wing. Peckett goes back and has a bit of a look what's in front of him. He's not quite sure where to go at the moment. He pops a big long one down the wing there and it goes towards Stewie Lowe, who can't quite take a mark. Waitland can't take it either, but smacked forward by Edwards, but only as far as Harvey. Johnson picks it up off the ground and he handballs to Goodwin, who pops it on his left. Kicks it towards the forward 50 to Robin, who's standing all by himself. He looks for a handball to Smart. Smart nearly slips over. He tries to spin his opponent inside out. He does. He smacks it on the right boot, but not very far. Straight up in the air there. And it comes down to Jarman and Shanahan. Shanahan almost pushed in the back, but he gets it across the boundary line. 10 minutes into this final quarter, the Crows still lead by 15 points.
Tell you what, they look like they're out of options with putting Robert Harvey into defence as well, just sort of as a loose man. But maybe worth sort of putting him into the midfield just to sort of get some sort of attack.
So brought down here, only as far as Cripps. Cripps handballs out, but only as far as Connell. Connell pushes it forward to Goodwin, who slaps it on the left boot in towards Jarman, but it's Daniels who picks it up and McLeod forces it out of
Fantastic
bounds.
pressure by McLeod.
Tell you what, McLeod hasn't had a lion's share of possessions in this game, but every single one he has had, every little involvement he's had around the footy has been mercurial. It's been perfect. Certainly going to get a look in for the best on ground today. As Robin goes into the ruck. Smart tries to tap it along but can't. Fished out of there. Harvey, as Pete said earlier, playing loose man in defence, probably needed around the foot of the ball now more than ever for St Kilda.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Thought there was more to that story. Turns out there wasn't. Choose your own adventure books. Don't always go to the end, kids.
Attendance 98,000 at the MCG.
Phenomenal crowd. I miss crowds. Don't know about the rest of you. As the Crows have managed to keep it in. The only man that read the play, read it like a book that he wrote. Jarman reads it off of Robin's fist, and they are losing their minds back home in Adelaide.
Well, that was his Choose Your Adventure book, and he certainly picked the right path. He's got 4 for the half.
What an unbelievable quarter here from Jarman. He's tearing it apart now. 3 goals for the term and 4 for the game. And boys, that just as good as they come.
Look at that. The only bloke who knew where the footy was.
Exactly.
He learned that at North Adelaide, certainly not Hawthorn.
He had Kay Johnson that he could have handballed to, but who cares? He kicked the impossible goal. Get around it.
3 goals won in this 4th quarter. The Crows now starting to build a lead that they can like. 21 points up in the grand final. Ben Hart working on Harvey through the middle, and he's doing really well to keep it to his advantage, but Aussie Jones eventually comes in to help. Little handball. Finds a Lappin. That goes over, bouncing to the favour of Harvey. Now Berg, who's been brilliant today, but caught by Costa. It's going to bounce there for the Crows. They'll get away okay through McLeod and James. Brilliant work today. You've been talking about McLeod being fantastic. Just composed play, and here's Ben Hart. Now on the outer wing. Not his best kick, and Zilla will cut it off for the Saints.
So Zilla has a look at what's in front of him. It would be daunting at the moment for a Saint. 21 points down. Everything needs to go right for him from here, and he pops it up towards Nicky Winmar, but only as far as Wren there. Wren handballs to the middle of the ground to Shane Ellen. Shane Ellen looks ahead, he bombs it inside, forward 50, only as far as Robert Harvey, but it packed forwards, and Jarman's out the back. He's kicked 5 for the half. Darren Jarman. He extends the lead to 27 points, and the Crows are running away here a little bit. 15-11, 101 to 10-14, 74, and that man Darren Jarman putting his stamp on this grand final.
Great start to the half by the Crows. Only 10 minutes to go now. St Kilda have to work very hard to come back from here.
And Jarman able to read that play perfectly, just staying behind and able to get out of the St Kilda hands as we cut to Peter McKenna, who's just put down another 4 and 25.
In about 20 years, we'll be referring to that as a selfie view. Peter McKenna sitting up in the stands. Fantastic view of what has been an amazing game of football. As Wren clearly coming out on top now in the ruck, not just in the hit-outs, but around the ground as well. Burke just desperate for anything for St Kilda, puts it forward. There's a few chases, including Peckett, who manages just to slap it on forward to another contest. It's just contest after contest at the moment. And for St Kilda's point of view, they just need to get 1 or 2 up here.
St Kilda happy to hold up the play and sort of get something set, especially on their forward 50.
Cook looking at one of the best ruckmen in the land and thinking, how do I get an advantage over this bloke? Certainly doesn't there. Although Wren does the work for it and puts it to Winmar, who gets tackled. Pack forms. St Kilda can't seem to make much out of this despite the attempted mark. Peckett, long way from home. Perhaps he's reading the Crows playbook here. Puts it up to the goal square.
Oh.
Has he?
No one's touched
nearly
it.
touched.
The umpires go to talk.
Confers a Mark Nash.
There you go.
Yeah, why don't we give him one?
What a great day out for defenders here. They're all popping up to kick goals, and certainly from a St Kilda point of view, that was a much-needed one.
Impressive goal now. Brings it back to 21. And they just need that to stem that flow of the Crows. They just started to get into a bit of party mood. And the fans were looking like they were really happy with 10 minutes to go with what they had in front of them. But the Saints just cast a little bit of extra doubt back in their minds.
I'm sure Lee Matthews is mentioning something about goals to minutes ratio at this point in time, but I can't know.
He's probably pointing at his board as well.
Under 10 minutes now in the grand final of 1997. The Crows have the advantage, but the Saints can still make some answers. Plenty of time still to go. Zilla, he'll send it forward here for the Saints. Can they make something of it? Great mark once again from Caven. He's been outstanding in this second half. Unfortunately, though, umpires found a free kick. Keogh sends it in. He's got Lappin on his own. Intercepted, though. Great punch from Edwards just to send it over the boundary line. And there was a chance gone begging once more for St Kilda.
What was the umpire thinking earlier there?
Not much.
No.
And that could have been to St Kilda on Lappin with the front-on contact, but not paid.
So we have a ball in here, important for St Kilda to get something from it. Hart taps it down to McLeod, who's held off the ball, and it forms in a pack again, and we'll have another ball up. 16 and a half minutes gone here in the last quarter. We're about 25 metres out from St Kilda's goal, and they really need to work through something at the moment. Wren and Cook go at it again, and the bounce favours Cook heavily. He smacks it in the air, but only as far as Ellen. Comes down to Johnson, who handballs forward now, and Kim Costa finds some space from Aussie Jones. He runs through the middle of the ground and is tackled as he kicks right into the centre of the ground, and you've got Rintoul battling there.
Still
Peckett
trying to get a
picks it
free
up.
kick.
He is. Smashed forward there for St Kilda towards Wren. Comes down to Ellen, who tries to claim a mark, and he somehow managed to get it.
Dead set, conned the umpire there, I think, is Ellen.
He handballs it out to McLeod, who kicks it to centre wing where Bickley's waiting. He pops it inside 50 there to Robert, and he can't hold the mark there. Here's Shanahan, but he's tackled by Goodwin. You'd think that could be holding the ball, but not paid by the umpire on this occasion.
Tell you what, how has this young man Goodwin been throughout this game? He's an absolute stick figure of a human being, but he's throwing himself into everything, providing a lot of drive off half back. Just another one of Malcolm Blight's master strokes. Who's this? This looks like Heatley coming off the ground. From St Kilda's point of view, hopefully it's nothing serious. They certainly need him out there. They need that firepower that they had in the first half. McLeod.
Oh, beautiful ball.
Rarely wastes the ball. What's he going to do with this? He finds a contest involving his old mate Jarman. Picked up there. He's going to do it again. Into traffic and Ellen. Yes! Again! Fullback. What fullback? Give this man a contract at centre half forward. Can you believe it?
5 for Shane Ellen. My goodness, and it is history in the making. Someone has quilted that one with some fat quarters. And my goodness, you look at Shane Ellen and a beautiful handball by Chad Rintoul just going forward and just saying, please someone get this one. Good shepherd there by Nigel Smart as well. And Shane Ellen, 5 goals.
Very surprising. He's still playing off half-back in the second half, but he's still running forward and kicking another one.
Unbelievable now, the Crows are starting to show their dominance. 27 points up. It's a long way from home now for the Saints. Here comes McLeod. Another forward entry for the Crows. Daniels cuts off though. Nice handball. Finds Brown. It's going to bounce toward the middle with Burke. He's got a runner. Here's Jones. He dodges around McLeod, but no one beats McLeod today. As the umpire and Nash finds himself a free kick for the Saints.
Tug of the jumper there.
Something.
No. It's because his jumper's so loose. Size smaller, mate. Anyway.
About to tick into red time. Who's he got running up for him? It's Lowe. So he'll go back. He's got one today, but really hasn't been influential on this game of football. Their co-captain.
No, he hasn't really. He's tried his best, but he's been pretty held back by most. We haven't seen much of Barry Hall either this quarter.
No, that's interesting, considering the man looked like he was going to absolutely tear the game apart a little while ago.
So Lowe needs this goal. It's an absolute stinker. Probably sends a bit of a message now as to where they're at in this game. They need those sort of ones to go through, and that tells a tale. The fans in the crowd now, they're starting to feel it.
He'd be feeling pretty low about that.
Well done, Pete.
Well, the Crows, plenty of heart with the way they're playing at the moment.
Oh, boy. It's contagious.
It is. And Ben kicks it in from fullback here, just outside the back 50. Mark almost taken there by Cook, but it's paddled forward, and Kimmy Costa tries to kick it out of the air, but to no avail. Peckett picks it up. Handballs towards the boundary line. And we'll have another ball in here. 20 minutes gone in the last quarter. The Crows lead by 26 points on the Trojan Aluminium scoreboard.
You can see Daryl Hart and Neil Craig just saying to Blighty, take it easy, boss.
So, Cook wins the tap on this occasion down to Burke. Burke gets it to Jones. Jones paddles it in front of him. He somehow keeps it in, but only as far as Edwards. Edwards spins in a circle, and he will win a free kick. No, he's given a free kick away. I'm not sure what that was for.
Apparently an elbow to the head, allegedly.
High fend off, maybe.
Yeah.
High fend off. But St Kilda look forward. Forward now in towards Low again. But Caven's in the way. Shanahan picks it up. Well, Haitley, sorry, and he's kicked a goal. He has.
Finally.
And, well, Lee Matthews is here again. It's not done yet.
Yeah, and allegedly it's the 1997 grand final. And we don't get to see if Haitley was still angry, but my goodness, only 20 points in this one.
I guarantee you he is still angry out there somewhere. Cook versus Wren. Wren, I would have to say, starting to get on top of the ruck as it comes out to centre half forward for Saints. Winmar couldn't quite make it work. It's just being punched left, right and centre until Allen manages to get it on the boot. Wren in a foot race with his much larger, slower companion. Doesn't need him though. As Bickley goes in where Angels fear to tread, it comes out again to Wren, puts it on the boot, just says, get this forward, I don't want it. Great tackle there by Rob Wren, who's starting to have an effect on the game late. Speaking of an effect on the game, here's McLeod, the man with the golden touch. Andrew Midas McLeod looking up and no, he knows he doesn't have to rush anything here. His team is on top. 15 kicks, 11 handballs and 8 marks to this man as he bombs it into the forward line. Smart provides the contest but can't quite make anything happen. Carried out of there by St Kilda up to the wing. Nearly a good mark there by Wren. There you go, McLeod ends up with the football again and once again does not waste it. Gives it to Costa, who puts it up to
Connell.
Thank you for the jump in there. Connell, who puts it into a contest. Jarman is lurking. Jarman's lurking. Jarman puts it over his shoulder. Jarman puts it into Rosen. Straight through the goals.
Oh my goodness.
This man has come from the clouds in this second half in this game of footy and says, I want another premiership, this time in the tricolours.
Could it happen? Could it happen? That was amazingly read by Jarman as well. You can see behind the goals when the goal umpire signalled for that goal, the Victoria Police person talked into his radio and just basically said, there's a robbery here at the moment. I'll tell you what, Jarman's ripping it up. But you can just see here, it was just a high ball as well. Smothered off the ball by Zilla. Just doing his best.
Just fell in his lap.
Yeah, just fell in his lap, basically. And, Tony Brown now got the job on him.
Jarman has 6 goals and the Crows have dumped on 12 goals since half-time. Big send inside 50 here from the Saints. Has been punched away. Edwards has been very, very good bound back today for the Crows. And he wins it again for Adelaide. Sends it out toward the members' wing. He's got McLeod all on his own. Sweeping handball. Here's a good one. The youngsters combine. Inside 50. He's got Smart there. He just puts it to the ground. Here's Trey Bond. Can he kick it on? He's got 4! It's party time now for the Crows.
My goodness, they're celebrating. They're celebrating.
The coach's box aren't still.
Malcolm Blight's still not sure if we can hold on here.
119 to 87.
It's a good number. It's a good number. 24 minutes into the fourth quarter. I tell you what, I'm pooping my pants with excitement. This is amazing. Troy Bond.
Another left foot snap.
That was
goal.
beautiful as well. 13 in a row now? 13 goals in a row?
Straight. Not in a row.
We haven't missed one.
13
since we've
straight
missed.
goals since we've missed.
So back into the middle now. It's an ominous 32-point lead for the Crows at the moment if you're a St Kilda fan, but you've won a free kick there.
I think that was the mercy rule for St Kilda, for the Brownlow medalist.
So Rob Harvey handballs it off to Brown here. He pumps it inside forward 50. They still have belief they can win, but right in the middle.
That's a contender for
What a
mark of the day.
Absolutely up there for the Trojan element mark of the day.
It's been a star today, Ren.
He has been very good today as he goes back, just settling it down with a short kick to the pocket to Ben Hart. No need to go fast here, and Ben Hart just strolls into the pocket and boots it out to mid-wing. Bit of a contest there. Harvey picks it up, handballs back to Jones. Jones gets it there to a teammate and it falls to the ground. We'll have a ball up here on centre wing.
Great pressure throughout this game from the Crows, especially with multiple injuries and then you see Modger on the sideline smiling, envious, but still happy for his teammates.
Absolutely. So we'll have Cook and Wren go at it again as they have so many times over this game today. A horrible bounce from the umpire, if I'm perfectly honest, and Wren just punches it over the boundary line.
Get the sub in.
You know it's almost party time in a grand final when you see all the security guards sort of come around the sides. It's getting close, ladies and gentlemen.
As the rug contest goes on, but tell you what, no one's told this young man Ozzie Jones that the game's over yet as he pumps it in from a left foot, penetrating kick onto the flank. 2 Crows, 2 Saints, no one can make anything of it.
Free.
Oh, low. There you go. That's why they didn't make more of it. They knew more than I did, which is not saying much in this call, ladies and gentlemen. Low, disappointed with his efforts, you'd have to say. 7 kicks, 2 handballs, 4 marks. Not bad for a big man, but poor for a co-captain on grand final day, you'd have to
Big
think.
kick.
That's a kick.
Absolutely, here's what I'm saying. And go, stuff you, bloke, in the commentary box in Adelaide and wave. Well, I'm just going to go and kick a goal.
Well, that is the classic commentator's curse that we have with the Crowject. And I tell you, I think he can hold his head up high, Screwy Low. He's done more than most. But he's done more than me in his life. But I'll tell you what, it's getting closer and closer towards that final siren. The Crows have one hand on the cup. They got something else in the cup as well. My goodness, it's close to happening.
Deep in this game now. The Crows have been absolutely brilliant. Up they go once more. The Ruckman have been working hard today. Oof. Burke dragged off it. Big high kick ball. And under it's Ellen. He's had a day today. 5 goals. Plays on quickly. Connell takes a bounce. And we'll walk out of defence here. A little bit of help with the Shepherd as he continues to run onto the wing. Nice run from the Crows, but the kick was astray. Kicking back into the midfield with Brown. And they'll just look to move quickly, the Saints, but it's all but over. Bouncing onto the members' wing.
Nothing going forward for them.
Trying to scrap
on
that
their feet
as they move it along through Cripps. Inside 50 ball. There's Lowe again. He's working hard. Pittman does well. Running backs Edwards. He's been outstanding as well, and he's going to clear.
So he puts it in front of Connell and Burke, who comes to it. Burke runs inside 50. Could he kick a goal here? Burke has missed, and it's put to the left there. Just a minor score. Saints move along to 94. The Crows 119. 13-16. The Saints have been quite wayward today. And we'll have Hart bring it back in from fullback.
quite wayward. That'd be crap.
Few kicking out, kicks for goal really, but Hart pumps it back in outside the forward 50 there for St Kilda. Costa and McLeod together. Johnson pedals it forwards there to the middle of the wing where Bickley awaits, but it's wrapped up by St Kilda, and they pop it near forward 50 again where Winmar waits. It spills out the back to Shane Ellen, who toe pokes it right into the St Kilda ruckman. It's then popped out the back to Tyson Edwards, who kicks it to the wing where McLeod is waiting. And he just takes an easy mark and says, wind it down a little bit, boys. Just take a bit of time off the clock.
You can hear some people in the crowd already singing Pride of South Australia. They know what's up.
Gets it to Johnson. What a mark. One more Trojan aluminium mark of the day just for the running. Into Caven in the centre square. He pops it inside forward 50, and can Jarman get one more? He gets the sit on Lappin, but Lappin runs with it and he takes it outside of the St Kilda back 50.
As he puts it up onto the wing. Players have no idea how long there is, but absolute credit to both teams. They are still plying their trade here. You got a bit of technical difficulty there. I'm getting Ben Hart repeat. But that's okay. I like seeing Ben Hart as often as we can. Peter Caven puts it into the forward line. Great mark there by Smart. Well done, Nigel. And he knows too, he's an experienced campaigner. He knows that unlike when you walk over hot coals, this time you can just take your time. No need to rush here.
Can take his 30 seconds off the clock.
Full 30 seconds.
Bond looks very ginger, but he'll be happy when the siren goes.
So what, as soon as the siren goes, Bond's going to forget whatever is hurting him. And then in about 2 hours' time, he's going to take something that's going to make him forget all about the pain, I reckon. Drink responsibly, everyone watching at home. Smart lines himself up, probably for his last kick in the grand final. Puts it long, true, it's high, it's handsome. Smart. Wow. Etching himself in the history books here as the Crows just pile on more and more pain on top of the Saints.
My goodness. Well, Smart was able to just flush that one from outside 50. He loves kicking fatties. But my goodness, it's 15 goals now? 15 goals or 14 goals? 14 straight.
Unheard of.
Amazing. Leighton, what else you got to say, my man?
No, I don't know what to say. There's only 3 seconds left.
It's as good as it gets. They've been without an All-Australian midfielder, without their Coleman medalist, but it does not matter. Yes! On the biggest day, the Crows bring home their first ever AFL flag. A 31-point victory against the Saints, and it's as good as they come.
Oh, wow.
1 point for every year since St Kilda's last premiership year. That's a bit of a cruel blow for the Saints.
You can see Mark Taylor in the background just wondering what's going on. You got Mark Nash who was asking for the ball, but to be honest, the Crows players couldn't give a crap. They've just won the premiership. They've gotten the Holy Grail. And Stan Howes looks forlorn coming down the stands. But my goodness, we did it, Leighton!
We did it! First premiership after 7 years in the competition. Malcolm Blight finally succeeds at winning the grand final after failed attempts coaching Geelong.
Some absolutely ecstatic men on crutches as they come out. One of them, the Coleman medalist in Modra. There would have been a fair few people, a fair few pundits who would have written the Crows off the moment he went down sore against the Western Bulldogs a week ago.
You see Stan Howes saying thanks to Malcolm Blight for the game. Obviously, two coaches with two very different outcomes from this one, but wow, this is amazing. Tuggers, what are your thoughts, mate?
Well, you think about them going back through this final series, they're the comeback kings. They beat Geelong when they were down by 20. They beat the Bulldogs when they were down by 22, when they come back from about 17 points against the Saints in what was a scintillating game. Jarman with 6, Ellen with 5, Bond, the finals hero for the Crows, with 4. And you'd think who the best player of the day is, you'd stretch across the park, but there seemed to be one man who just stood out more than most.
Yeah, I'd say Payment SA player of the day. My vote has to go to McLeod. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I'll throw it out to the panel here. What were your thoughts, boys?
I actually thought it was a very even performance from a lot of the Crows players. There wasn't many players who had a really bad game.
Yeah, I'd have to roll with McLeod myself. He was sort of everywhere and in the influential moments in that second half. He was, feeding the ball to Jarman, popping it forward to Ellen for a couple of his goals. He gets my vote.
You'd have to be absolutely stiff in this game if your name is Jarman or Ellen, though. To bob up and kick a bag of goals in a grand final like that. But you know that there is another bloke out there that just didn't make a mistake with or without the footy today, and that was McLeod.
Absolutely. And our thoughts on the Nathaniel's Coffee goal of the day? We had some of the nominations. We had Aussie Jones in the first quarter. We had Ellen in the third and Winmar in the third as well. Any other ones stick out, guys?
I think Jarman kicked 4 or 5 that could probably go into that nomination. Yes. I reckon just write down D Jarman. Doesn't matter which one.
Yep. We're giving it to the Nathaniel's Coffee goals of the day.
Goals.
And it goes to D Jarman. My goodness. And Trojan Aluminium mark of the day. We had a few contenders as well. We had Nigel Smart in the first quarter, Pittman in the third, McLeod in the third, and Barry Hall in the third too were some of the ones that stood out too. A couple of missed ones as well, but Tuggers, your thoughts on any of the Trojan?
I think the best mark was Barry Hall's, but we can't possibly give it to him because the Crows have won the flank. So I don't mind either of the three, any of them.
McLeod's on the wing was very good.
Done.
Yeah, go McLeod.
Yep. So we'll leave it to the adjudicators of the Norm Smith to see if they agree with us. But if you're thinking to yourself, how do I celebrate this 1997 grand final win? Well,
You get all the merch.
Get all the merch as well. Head down to Target or Kmart or John Martin's as well and get yourself the 97 Premier's new release VHS as well. And it has been rewound for your pleasure as well. And you can also name a game as well, and that's from 3OW Talking Melbourne, 1278. But if you want to as well, they've printed like 60,000 of these. All the St Kilda ones have been chucked into Port Phillip Bay as we speak as well. And don't forget to get yourself some merch as well. You also got the Crows Premier's hat.
Does it come pre-faded?
Yeah, it does. It sure does come pre-faded. For some reason, it's got my old home phone number on it too. That when I was in year 3, I tried to write cursive. So there you go. But make sure you get out and get yourself. Do yourself a favour and get yourself that one. There's a Molly Meldrum shout out too. And Molly's probably crying right now.
Yeah.
Not a good day.
Yeah. Sucked in, Saints. You lost. My goodness. Any other merch that we're looking to see, guys?
How about some crumb beanies?
Oh, we're going to plug that one too?
Yeah, sure.
It was a bit weird during the call thinking to myself that, geez, I'm just like, is that a Crombie? Oh, wait, no, of course it's not. Oh, my goodness. Now, in all seriousness, obviously we're doing the recall, but for you guys, I won't talk to Ben on this one because you weren't born at this point, but do you guys have any memories of that day? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge communal thing. It was all through the week. That's all anyone in Adelaide was talking about. That's all your schoolmates and family was talking about. And then it wasn't, we'll stay at home and watch the game. It was whose house are we going to?
Yeah.
You know, I was at my dad's place that weekend and we all went to the next door neighbours and they had pulled out all the stops. It was like Christmas. It really was, you know, in terms of all the decorations, and everyone moved the TV out to the backyard and we watched it. It was an amazing day. It was a big carnival atmosphere across the city, wasn't it, Tugwell?
Yeah, I was only 2.5 years old, so I can't say around it, but just unbelievable. You know, the street parties that came the years after this, they were just such great days for Adelaide and South Australia.
I'm really showing my age here by actually being able to commentate on the day. Thanks for that hospital handball there, Pete. You can remember as well, mate.
No, I can. So I was at my Uncle Collis's house and my cousin Dave. My cousin David's been I think he's a foundation member of the club as well, and he remembers it vividly, and so do I. He had the old Sony Trinitron big fuck-off screen as well, so he saw it in crystal clear vision too. It was amazing because I just remember at halftime and everything. McLeod's won the Norm Smith.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Absolutely stunned, and refuses to speak. Doesn't look like he wants to give a speech.
He looks very emotional. Very emotional. Fitzroy legend there. I can't remember his name, but he presented Norm Smith as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome Hall of Fame legend, former Carlton champion, and no stranger to the Premiership days, Big Nick, John Nichols, to present medallions to each player of the winning team.
Now, the one sad thing about this game is that they haven't quite got around to getting the Oz kickers to come out and give out the medals, which has become an absolute favourite part of Grand Final Day for mine.
And the stage more looks like a fancy ladder.
Doesn't it?
Darren Jarman.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how they fit the whole team up on that stage, to be perfectly honest. Big Nick hardly fits himself up there, really.
They managed to find a way every year, though.
Number 5.
DJ happy with this one, his second premiership medallion.
Kim Costa, who had a running battle with the younger man, Ozzy Jones, all day.
He's hanging off the back of his Guernsey, actually, I think, at the moment.
And they're all modelling the new hats you can get.
Available now.
Quite the large brim on that one for Nigel.
I was going to say, it looks like a duck bill.
I really wish I could communicate with
10,
Tyson Edwards right now and warn him about what's to come with his hairline.
And how much he needs a cap.
Yes.
He's going to go down to Greg Matthews and Shane Warne line to the Vals Hair Studio.
Yeah.
Number 13, Shane Allen.
Every one of these blokes, whether they go on to bigger and better things in their football career, this is almost certainly
Number
going to be the highlight for a lot of these guys.
Matthew Connell.
My favourite moment with Connell was definitely the bump on the camera woman.
Yes,
David
absolutely. Yeah. She doesn't remember the day, but she's got some wonderful photos as evidence.
Well, she can still access them, that is.
Yeah,
That's
before the
good
camera
point.
broke, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of overexposure now on her album.
Number 20, Aaron Keating.
Aaron Keating.
Yes. Sister of Aaron, who swapped out his helmet for a hat. Performed admirably, actually, for the brief stint that he played in the
Andrew
rugby.
McLeod.
He's back again.
He's collecting medals.
Where will this third one come from?
Number 24, Clay Sampson.
Third and fourth aren't far away, I don't think. Clay Sampson, didn't see much of him today. Lazy effort, frankly, from Clay Sampson.
Number
off the bench.
28,
He got injured in the first quarter.
He got iced, yeah. Kane Johnson did well, especially like the Madden style throw, for
He's
sure.
always too cool for school, Mr. Johnson.
Will Leighton Hewitt sort of look down there.
He's got a six-stacker changer in his Toyota Camry.
Number 35,
Ben Hart, have I mentioned where he played his footy before he came to the Crows? Is that Australia? Blackfriars.
He played a good role, Jamison.
Number 36,
Start padding from
Simon
getting the kickouts early on.
Yeah.
Good one, just his first season.
I see a big
number
future
42,
for this
Chad
man.
Rintoul.
Good job, Chad.
Oh, yes.
The Chad. Like a
Good
true
Chad.
Chad. Backwards hat. Well done, the Chad.
Peter
Getting all the free
Haven.
kicks. Well done.
Oscar next.
Peter Caven looking like he's buying some chicken feed.
Number 52.
He played very well today,
Sean
right off
Ray.
halfback, and kicking a goal.
Did I just see Claude the Crow go for a tear down the wing in the background there?
Yeah, he was.
He still thinks the game's on.
He does. He's have to go get some touches.
Let's hope he can do the OTR dunk soon.
The coach, Malcolm Blight.
Can't wipe the smile off his face, actually.
Blighty.
Righty, after so long coaching.
Finally able to ascend in the Premiership medallion as a coach.
Messiah.
And now number 26, the skipper, Mark Bickley.
Bit of a quiet day, but certainly led the team all
Did his
season.
role. Did his, yep.
Would you say he was shut down? I think he had a hard tag for most of that.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Don't forget this. The 1997
come on back,
AFL
Mark.
Coca-Cola
You gotta come and collect your
Premiership
trophy.
Cup.
First
The
year as captain, in fairness, no one's briefed him.
No speech.
What an iconic image.
And Malcolm holds it with the wrong bloody hand.
He did.
Ruined the photos, but oh well. We got the cup.
He's just thinking of getting back home and jumping in his Knowles caravan.
See, that's not a stage,
No,
is it?
that is an occupational health and safety risk. Surprised it didn't fall over.
Yeah. The echo. Love it.
I'd like to think one bloke started singing, the rest caught up, and then someone went, we're actually really going to do this whole song?
It's like a premature happy birthday sing.
Yes.
It's
Shit, we're doing it.
we might as well. Yeah, it's going to be. You can tell there's still some St Kilda faithful there. They haven't jumped onto the tram yet.
And the North Melbourne ones as well.
Yeah. You're just popping the finger at all the Saints fans.
To invite Mark Bickley to lead his team on a victory lap of honour of the Melbourne Cricket Ground as the 1997 AFL Premiership
Get the
winners.
rope out of the way.
Claude is absolutely caught. He is caught like a seabird in a piece of disposable plastic. Can't get through. Not meant to be there anyway. This is players only, Claude.
photo too.
Oh, God. Wearing the number one.
That might be Mark Rasciuto in a suit and a helmet there, just trying to get involved.
Oh my goodness.
The cameraman looks to have been mauled.
I was going to.
And a few good ass shots there as the blokes go for a lap of honour around the oval.
My cup, no, it's my cup, no, it's my cup. Tell you what, it'd be an amazing feeling. You
Wouldn't it
only get to do it once or twice or three times.
I feel for the cameraman. Just trying to chase him down.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Someone's managed to wrestle the cup off Ben Hart.
Well, this will go up there with one of the great wins for the club. 2018 AFL Premiership. The 2004, no, 2003 Wizard Cup.
Oh, the Wizard Cup.
Yeah,
The
the
2012 Wizard Cup as well.
No,
NAB Cup, that one
NAB
was.
Cup.
NAB Cup,
Get that
yes.
one. My goodness, we did it. And of course, the April Premier's one that all Wolfies try to get label on us too. But that doesn't matter because we won the Premiership, and guess what? Port didn't, and Saints didn't either. The Crows have done it, and I tell you what, we're cock-a-hoop here at the Crowject. This is a part of the 97 Grand Final recall. Hope you've enjoyed as much as we have. My name's Peter Soroka. That's Sam Tugwell. That's Ben McLean. That is Damon Evans. And that is Leighton Ashwell. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Signing off here from the Crowject. Thanks, guys. Ciao, ciao. Thank you.